Colt.
In a lawless land like Texon after the fall, raiders are commonplace, and where you get raiders, you eventually get warlords. It's inevitable that in any group where might makes right, someone will decide that they should be in charge, not just of some raider band, but of everyone. The warlord known as Curse has been one of these megalomaniac thugs. In recent months, there has been a surge of aggressive moves into new territory. Dozens of settlements are now under his control. There has been resistance, but so far, only a few settlers have been able to fight him off. When he turned his attention to the Goblin settlement of Narak, he may have bitten off more than he can chew.
All right, we're going to go back to a group of 5 diverse individuals. Let's get full screen for everybody. Last session, these folks who were out hunting for the Goblin settlement of Narak were caught out in the wild. They were hunting for what they thought might be mounts, beasts of burden, and turned out to be weird nuked mutant centaur people. It was something, and they basically befriended these strange creatures who call themselves the Arbus. The Arbus were hesitant to help the goblins retake the settlement because they're worried about having limited numbers, but they agreed to help because the goblins find other allies. So we're going to begin with the 5 of you on your way to the settlement called Simon. Simon is based in an old abandoned mall. You know them because you've traded with them a bit. So those of you who've worked with Narak, trading with outlying settlements, you've had some contact with Narak. If anyone is going to get your back and will have weapons and manpower to help, it would be Simon. Let's start with a long shot of the 5 characters walking across the irradiated waste. So who would be out in front? Who's a sort of landlore? Is that Bach? Is Bach like taking the lead? We follow Bach. Bach keeps us from falling into pits. So Bach, what do you look like? I mean, kind of like that, but much bigger.
Yeah, there. I'm bigger.
That was amazing.
A big. Oh, well, he's a mix between. He looks like just an inflated goblin. Just slightly larger, taller, and more overbearing than your average quick zooming around goblin. I'm more of the just smash him in the, just crushing, overbearing, that guy.
And what you big, you have any obvious guns or just big smash 'em mace kind of things?
Well, I have a whole range of cudgels. Something called a Louisville Slugger, and then some ancient game sticks that have been broken off, probably for stabbing.
So you're bristling with melee weapons.
And then right. these guns.
And we're going to say that Grimclaw is next to you having a conversation about some fine point of Goblin society and how to maintain a progressive point of view while accepting that there is part of your inherent energy that is, to call it primal might be reductive because that sounds a little bit too much like savagery. One of those conversations. What does Grimclaw look like?
Well, I couldn't do the hair thing, but I'm supposed to have very bright red hair, and I've got these lovely tusks which go different directions, which I feel is very aesthetically pleasing for a goblin. And I bleed from my eyes when angry, so I got all this lovely red stuff that just sort of happens. I'm sure I bleed from my eyes also because I have bad allergies, so that's been happening a lot in the real world too. Yeah, that's what I look like.
Completely fair. I would say following along, trying to keep up would be Professor Proctor. who's actually making notes on this conversation that he's listening to as you're having it. And the professor, other than being a visual parody of the Game Master from 10 years ago, what do you look like?
Well, Professor Proctor is dressed completely wrong for this outing because this was not what the plan was. But he is bald, well, hairless. Hairless is the word we go for, not balding. He did not have hair to begin with, not sure why. But Professor Proctor is a normal human for the purposes of this. For what humans are, because this is a goblin-dominated world, but still very important to know what the goblins are all about. The professor is very interested in all things goblin, and that is why he is following this intrepid group, which all came from same village. We're all doing this together now.
All right, and behind you would be Trix. Trix, what do you look like?
I'm very small, even for a goblin. And I carry around a large weapon that I made myself. And I saw it in one of the old cinemas, and I thought it was really cool. There was these guys, and they had lightning guns to shoot ghosts with. And I figured anybody that needs to shoot a ghost, I'm their man. So being a smaller goblin, the backpack is pretty much as big as he is, and he just lugs around with it and is constantly tinkering with things and finding new things to either add to a suit of power armor he's working on or to stick inside of Twofer, because Twofer needs more gadgets and gizmos inside them. And I have 2 rows of teeth.
I like how much we can assume about you from just looking at you. We know that you must be working on the suit of power armor. You have that look to you. You know when you go into the CVS and you're like, that dude's working on power armor. I can just feel it. They always buy the cheap cookies because they're spending so much on all the components.
Yes.
Last but not least, certainly, would be Twofer, who is taking up the rear, keeping watch over everybody as they progress through the irradiated lands. What does Twofer look like?
Hi. Twofer is the kind of goblin who leans into the sort of classic goblin stereotype because she sees nothing wrong with it. Also, Twofer is built like a Tonka truck. An aftermarket Tonka truck. Yeah, cyborg, but everything's a little mismatched.
So it works just fine, but, well, I mean, that's relatively speaking. We determined there's a lot of strange noises and so forth, right? So you're headed across open waste. Let's have a landlord, I think that's the term, from Bach, please.
Landlord.
Yeah, down in survival.
Got 4 dice on landlord. Oh.
Majestic.
Just a 5, a 4, a 3, and a 1.
So the 5 gives you a partial success, and that's actually all you're going to need. The only problem would be a complete failure, in which case you would have taken a left turn in Albuquerque, and God knows where you would have ended up.
It all kind of looks like Albuquerque to begin with. I mean,
it really does. And considering that you're following a lot of roads, it's, unless you go literally cross country, it's reasonably hard to get completely lost.
That's good.
And
I'm from New Mexico. Do not insult Texan like that. It's not like Albuquerque at all.
And since you're heading to Simon, Simon is on a road. It was a mall, so it is at a major intersection.
I can smell malls from miles away. It's pretty sure it's that way.
So they smell like tween jewelry and like
bourbon chicken
and giant cookies.
Bourbon chicken and giant cookies. I like it.
Smells like thick rib and Axe body spray.
It's the worst candle combination of all time.
Rib and Axe body spray.
So who's got the best number of dice for notice?
That would be
I-
Professor, most likely.
I think we talked about it before, and a bunch of us have 5.
Yeah, I have 5 as well.
Professor has 7.
Oh, right, because
However,
tall.
the professor is walking and jotting notes about the conversation. I doubt he has all of his dice because he's actually trying to keep up while physically writing what you're saying.
Right.
Let's have Grimclaw make the roll.
Also,
Alright.
we don't trust him anyway, so it's not like we're gonna listen.
Well,
to
it's
what
not
he
going to
says.
stop him from noticing things. Like,
He can look at stuff. It's not a problem when he
Look,
does.
a 3.
Oops, one of them fell off. All
I
right.
see a goblin.
I have 2 6s and 2 1s and a 2.
okay, so that is successful, and that's 2 successes, which is great.
Hooray.
You notice over on your left, the direction you're going, sitting on a old, rotted out junk car, like bad enough that scavengers have taken whatever pieces out they wanted to. So it's just like the gnarly wreck part. There is a toad. The toad is the size of precocious baby's head, and it is orange and is covered in green pustules. I think I gave someone the creature catalog feat. Did I?
That would also be Professor Proctor.
Okay. So
Right.
I'll
the
make you
monster.
look up and notice. So I'm like, all right. So, you know, what we were talking about Shakespeare and sort of putting it back together and, you know, like post-apocalyptic kind of things. And I really like sort of stuff like that, except for the fairies. And hang on, there's a toad.
What?
Professor,
A toad?
there's a, just look over there. It's
Right,
big.
right. I see Toad.
Grimclaw. I do not remember a toad in any of the Shakespeare stuff.
You know, it's an underutilized character, but I think here is more of an appropriate reality sort of moment.
What's-
Oh,
What?
right over there.
Does that have
Yeah.
pustules on it?
I bet it
Oh,
tastes
it's
good.
sort of,
The-
I'm almost drawn to the idea of having you generate another party and having the other party come upon the dead bodies of the group that was talking about Shakespeare while the monsters killed them. So Proctor, you look up, and that's not just a toad, that is a gibbet. Gibbets reproduce by spitting spike balls that are seeds that will take organic matter, they take root, and they make more gibbets. Worse yet, if you hit them hard enough, they burst like pomegranates that have explosive charges in them, and seeds go everywhere. So if you shoot them or you hit them hard enough, they go boom. So
Right.
very, very dangerous. They usually come in swarms.
All right. I know you're not in habit of listening to Proctor, but for purposes of survival, I'm suggesting people listen to human now. Do not smash the toad. Also, do not get
Proctor?
hit by the toad.
There's more over there on your right.
Or those toads over there. There's a lot of toads. We need to burn the toads, not smash the toads. What do we have to burn the toads?
Lightning.
Bricks.
I shoot I shoot the toad.
Oh,
There we go. There's a initiating action. So Trix pulls out. He starts a stream. So they're all at far range, but not distant. So they're still over there. They're not close yet. They're not up close. So they're, more like 40 yards ish.
If I recall correctly, the numbers on the chart tell us how many dice we lose from our pool based on the range.
And it's the third category.
Correct. All right.
And you go ahead and shoot.
I shoot. 2 successes.
Sweet. So roll your damage and go ahead and add an extra die.
Oh, I get to reroll the 6s, right?
Yes. So every die.
Oh,
that you
only
roll-
on my damage, not on my to hit.
Right. Their defense is only 2 against energy. So every die that does 2 or better is going to score 2 points of damage. And the ones that score 6 also score your crit.
Oh my goodness.
You're going to
Okay.
kill a lot of them, and I'm excited for that.
So
I'm suddenly seeing
my,
the Ghostbusters scene.
Yeah.
Don't let him slime you, or he's going to get you pregnant.
18 damage.
And any 6s you reroll on damage.
Yeah, I rerolled my 6s.
So
They do crit, and my crit is 4.
it has
Not
less
2.
than that.
So that's how
And-
I got 18.
Do you know what they say happens in movies to toads that get struck by lightning?
The
You know
same
that
thing that
joke?
happens to everything that gets struck by lightning. Thank you, Halle Berry.
So it swells for a moment and then pops, and there's an explosion, and it does not explode with seeds because you fried it. So it's not it's far enough away that it probably wouldn't hit you anyway. But the explosion was not its normal pop seed attack. It was I've been atomized by lightning. Does anyone else want to join the fray with a ranged attack?
I have a crossbow.
Want to shoot one?
Yes, I would like to pin one down so it can't come closer, because then that way he can shoot it with lightning later and kill it. I don't know if it's big enough to pin down, but I could try.
That's possible, but rough, and they're about this big, so
Aw.
they're far enough that you can probably just kill it and risk it bursting. 'Cause
Okay,
they're way over there.
that's good.
So go ahead and do your shoot. And
All
the
right.
modifier is the third column, which is for far.
Right, so it has a 0 in far, so I'm still rolling the normal set of dice. All right, good.
Yep.
4 to hit. I have 2 successes on that to hit.
Okay, so roll your damage. And against that attack, there's still only a 2. So every guy that gets a 2 or better is going to score 2 damage.
All
And then
right.
for every 6, you also score your crit.
All right, try that again. Oop. I have a single 6. So it's 3, 3, and 5. So those worked. And I rolled a 6 again. I didn't mean to do that. I mean, I can't. Yeah, I totally did. I totally meant
3,
to.
5, 6. That's going to be 8. What's the crit for the weapon? That's probably a 2,
2.
right?
Correct.
Okay, so that's 8. Then the 6 again. It's going to be 2 more. That's 10. You can re-roll the 6 again, exploding. Keep rolling until it stops doing that.
5.
Okay, so you do enough to kill it, but because it was a normal attack, it ruptures and explodes. And there's these little, and they're far enough away that you just kind of just see the pop. You don't actually see them up close. The camera, though, the pretend cinematic shot would have had the little pustules with the spikes hitting things and sticking. It looks very unpleasant to be close to those when they pop, but 2 of them are now destroyed.
Right.
Twofer.
Hoover is enjoying what this game looks like. Are there large pieces of, say, asphalt near me?
There sure are. You
I
want
will
to use
grab one
the
of those.
strength and you want to hurl the chunk
And
of
you said
asphalt?
they're far?
They are. They're the third category. Do they have to get closer for the
Great.
hurl to work?
Yep.
So Twofer starts throwing chunks of asphalt.
2 successes.
Okay, do your damage.
Uh, 7.
Okay, you aren't sure what that did, but there were 2 frogs, and now there are 2 under a chunk of asphalt. You can probably surmise that they're not going to be going to any parties tonight, but you don't have any direct evidence, so they're probably squishifered. Proctor, do you pull a weapon?
It's somewhat encouraged. I'm going to try my crossbow at one of those that's far enough away it's not going to pop onto me.
Done and done.
Excellent. I'm rolling the dices, and I have 1 success.
Excellent. That's all you need. So go ahead and
All
roll
right.
damage.
And the damage on
You
the
got
crossbow
defense
is
against everything is a 2. So every die that scores 2 or better scores 2 damage.
excellent.
Everything that scores a 6 also scores your crit bonus.
All right, I've got 1 plus a 6. And so that was
2 4 damage. Did you reroll the 6?
I rolled a 6 and got another 4, so it's a success, but not
Okay,
crit.
so you damaged 1, so it doesn't take it out. But the way these things work is that's enough to injure it. And the injure causes it to explode. So it effectively kills itself, but you're not close enough for that to be dangerous. So you take out a 5th one. And
Yay.
Bach, you have not Bach'd it up yet, right?
So smash it with a hammer, right?
No, don't.
No.
do that.
Don't
No,
smash with hammer.
Shotgun
No.
then. I pull out the shotgun
that'll work.
and let him have it. We got 5
Yep.
dice on the shoot. We got 1 6. There it is, 1 6.
And that'll do it. So do your damage.
We got, oh, really? 2 1s. I got a 2, 3, 5. So 3 dice above 2.
So that's still going to be 6 damage, and that's enough to kill another one. So there are now 6 destroyed. Is anyone not
My
having-
favorite, but still nice. Blam.
Yeah, no, that was not like nothing to write home about there. You caught it in the spray. Anyone not getting attacked this round?
Oh, we all did it.
Okay.
We did the thing.
They all close in to near. So they're
Oh.
now in the battlefield around you.
Oh,
There
crap.
are about 8 more left. You can't exactly count them because they're toting it up and jumping around. So
They're playing leapfrog.
they're leap toting all over the place. I am going to need initiative rolls. So I'll go around and I'll ask you to take your speed, roll the dice, add them up. So Bach, what you got?
Oh, what's my speed? Hang on. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Speed is, where is speed?
Bottom left.
Lower left-hand corner near the combat summary.
All right. For a total, oh man, 5, 10, 25.
Okie dokie. Twofer,
20.
20, and Grimclaw.
I have trouble with math. Hang on. So that's 5, 10,
And they say I'm
17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
I
That's
feel
what I'm
that Grimclaw would make the point of explaining to the audience that it's the player, not the goblin, who has trouble with math,
It's true.
to avoid any strange like racial assumptions about goblins.
Of course.
Oh,
Proctor
see, I just thought that's what I was here for. The math.
Proctor got 17.
and Trix.
I have strategically decided to go last at 16.
Nice. Good
Always
move.
nice of you to do that for us.
All right, Bach, you are first, sir.
All right.
They're pretty close.
What can I can shoot my shotgun with one hand, right?
Yeah, totally.
All right. I've
Huge.
got the cudgel in one hand just in case, to block anything. And I just let him have it with one hand
I'm
with the
going to
shotgun.
take a look because I think you might have shotgun-related feats that will let you do things like hit multiple opponents. 'Cause
Oh,
there are tricks with that really help.
I've got smash, and I've got a few other good things, but that's only if I'm actually swinging at them. So
Right.
I don't know if I have any good ranged attacks. In my head, I see myself smashing these toads, just what I wouldn't give to just be in melee with them. But I suppose the shotgun will have to do.
Oh,
Fair. Okay, go ahead. Open fire.
No. No 6s, 3 1s.
That means the weapon jams. Unless you're not a gunslinger, are you?
No.
oh no.
I mean, I'm a gunflinger. I will chuck the shotgun.
So it's bricked. It's garbage.
Ugh.
All right. So I'm looking at this. Bloody grin, cut to 5 wounds in the ring. Oh yeah. You don't have any of that. So the way that works is when you roll a 1 with a firearm, you didn't get even a partial success. I'm sorry, if you didn't roll 1, so you're good. You don't have to throw it, so you're good.
I might just throw it anyway.
So yeah, all right, fine. So you're like the firing. It's time for the hand-to-hand. Fair. Grimclaw.
set your club on fire, and then you're hitting them with fire, and you'll be fine.
Maverick's not
it's
here.
Still not going to be a good idea. I think what I would like to do is see if I can try to clear. Can we clear a path? Can we like just try to go forward, or maybe I could leap over them or something? Because if I'm
So-
in the front,
The problem is, unless you have people that you're trying to get out by them just spending the whole round running, because they're moving as fast as you are, it's not like clearing zombies and just kind of getting out of the area. They'll
Got it.
keep up with you, right? Now, if, for example, somebody was wounded and you wanted to like be shooting so you can get them out, that you could do. But an open battlefield like this, it's like your best bet is just make them explode and try not to make them explode on you.
got it. All right. Well, then I guess I will just shoot it with my crossbow, and it is closer, but I still should have the same amount of dice. I don't
So
have
this
a
is going to
problem
be
until
the second range category.
Right. So it's in near, which I'm still all right with. It's once it gets real close, then I can't use it very well.
Well, we'll see what happens because you're about to be the test case for, go ahead and blow one up and then we'll see what happens.
Oh, great.
It'll be fine.
I'm sure it will.
Twofer looks dubious, but it'll be fine.
Don't give consent to having mated with these creatures. I have 1 success.
Okay, so roll your damage.
All right.
All the defenses are 2, so all the stuff I said before still applies.
All right. Anything over a 2?
A 2 or higher.
Okay. All right. So
the only thing that doesn't do
2,
damage is a 1
4,
in this case.
6, and then I get to reroll this one. So it's 10 now total, and then 12.
The bolt goes right through it, and there's a pause where the camera would see the hole in the froggy, and then poof! I need a reaction save from you.
Oh, great. This is going to be fun. All right. What is... Oh, there it is. All right. I roll 4.
The saves on the left-hand side, they're little shaded boxes.
I have 1 6. It's 6 5 4 3.
6 is fine. All you're looking for is 6s, and that's success. So what you discover is the things when it explodes, they are strangely aerodynamic. Weird thing that those of us that are science nerds know is that evolution's really good at figuring out how to get seeds to go places that it seems like they shouldn't go. So it seems to have developed so that when this happens, they carry a very long range. So you shoot it like kind of over there, and then when it bursts, you're like, oh shit, and duck behind something because there's kind of like a
Careful.
Yeah.
Careful, it's trying to stick a seed where it shouldn't go.
I don't want...
So you are struck by nothing. You safely avoid.
Okay.
Twofer, what do you do?
Is there any kind of scrap or anything nearby that could be used as a shield?
Yes.
Good question.
Cool.
There's the door of a car lying on the ground.
Perfect. Yes. Okay. So I ripped this car door off and I use that as a shield, and then I'm going to lob more asphalt.
So we're gonna.
But we're at near now.
You're at near. You're in the second range category. Yeah. That's going to take your round getting the shield down. So it turns out the safety belt though seized, so it makes a perfect strap. So we get a very Captain America shot of you. Like, that's the Captain America I want. I want the cyborg goblin. Then perfect.
This is the new native Captain America. We're very proud of her.
For president.
So it's my turn. They start hucking seed loogies at you with terrifying accuracy.
Road.
So Bach, I get a partial. So in this case, they're not doing straight damage. What they need is you're going to need to make make an endurance save, please.
Ooh, I like endurance saves. I got 6 dice on that one. There we go. That would be 3 5s and a 6 and a 2.
Okay, so the 6 is good. What's happening here is you're making a save versus them burrowing into your skin and planting a frog. So you're extra beefy beef. The seed does land on you, but you just kind of shrug it off. In fact, I think a proper flex might just make the thing pop. All right, so now I got Grimclaw.
Right.
Also partial, so I'm not going to do any damage. I just have to do the endurance save.
Endurance. I have 5 endurance, which is pretty good.
It is.
But no, I only have 5s. 5 5 2 2 1.
Twofer, you attack you, but you're going to have a big shield. I'm going to cut down. That counts. I get a hit. So I'll tell you what, make a reaction save. And if you make it, you're going to take the projectile on the shield.
1 6.
Okay, so dunk, dunk, you put the thing up, and whatever was spit at you lands on the door. And Proctor, it's your turn. Fortunately, those that have moved forward to engage have protected you from the deadly loogies.
Excellent, excellent. Glad to not be being spat at. It is time to either run or shoot. Can I possibly get behind Buck and still shoot?
Yeah, definitely. Especially if Bach doesn't mind. Like, you mind the human just using you as like a shield?
I feel like at this point in the process, Bach will just occasionally sort of spread his legs a little bit wider, and he'll go down into a prone position and just shoot through his legs, like.
I mean, he can use me as a shield, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna use him as a weapon.
Sacrifices. All right, I am shooting at a frog that is not yet dead. And we are getting 5 dice, and we have a 5 and a 6.
Perfect.
So
Roll your damage.
that is that, and the damage is it's still 4 dice, so we drop
Correct.
that number down to 4, and we say roll, and we have 1, 2, 3 success.
Okay. So that's going to
4,
be
6.
6 damage. So same thing. It wasn't enough to kill it, but it bursts and kills itself. You just have to do enough to injure it, which you did. But you're going to have to make a endurance check.
Endurance it is. I can do this also.
Close enough that this is a danger.
5, 5, and 6.
Okay, so you're fine. Tricks.
Thank you, Buck.
Yeah.
All right. I'm talking to Greg.
Burn it
and
with
I'm
not
like,
fire.
I don't like how it blew up. So I back up so that I'm at far range again.
Okay.
Then I shoot it.
Okay, so you pull back and more lightning. Go ahead.
1 success. but
That's
doesn't
enough.
work.
Do your damage.
And they're a 2, right?
Correct.
And I just want to make sure that I'm doing this right. So I rolled 3, 5, 6. So I re-roll the 6, and I got a 2. So that doesn't count. So I have the 3, the 5, and the 6 each do 2, and then the 6 does an additional 4. So I do 10.
Kaboom. There's another ball of flame and burning frog flesh. And no damage to you, no danger to you. Bach comes back around to you. You think there's about 4 more of these things?
Okay. Okay. So now I'm just the gun. I just chuck it.
The hell with it. Yeah.
Is there any way that I could actually grab 2 of them and smash them together? Just taking out 2 at one time.
So that is the cinematic action option, which means you're going to make a brawl melee check and need to roll 2 successes. If you succeed,
I'm in for a pound, a pounding.
If you succeed, it gives you the normally impossible but cinematic fun thing you're asking for.
And I am going to use my... can I also use like wild swing and
no, because the rules of the cinematic action are literally just roll the skill, try to get 2 things. You kind of are bypassing the combat system to just squish 2 monsters.
So basically, so it's the 2 so it's basic brawl, 6 dice. Come on.
For 2 6s.
1 6.
Okay, so sadly the downside of cinematic action is if you don't make both, you don't make either. So you're I think what we get is still a win from the point of view of anyone who's playing this out in their mind, because what I see is you running around trying to pull it off, like trying to just grab frogs, which has got to look just awesomely ridiculous. Grimclaw, you see Bach doing that, which is a little like the greased pig game.
He's like he's running after chickens, but they're like squishy.
Yeah, and seems very frustrated that he can't get both, because clearly he has something in mind.
All right. Could I attempt a cinematic action to kick one over toward him so that he can
You know what? And if you make it, I'll give you that it will add to his and allow him to do his thing. So you could do that as a brawl melee or as like acrobatics, I think.
All right. I'm better with brawl melee. That's
okay.
Sick. So I'm going to give that a shot.
So you've turned this into a soccer team.
Yes.
We're going to play frog baseball.
Guys, I love the fact that
The slugger just.
the
You
two
just-
goblins have not, there's no problem to them playing kickball with the exploding deadly frogs.
If I kick it and then it blows up over there, then it's going to be less of an issue for me.
It's absolutely true. If you don't roll the 2 successes, though, there's a chance that it might not go all the way over there before blowing up.
All right, I get 1, which is
Oh boy.
it was a 6 and a 5.
So
and then a
that
bunch
tells
of-
me the kick connects, but it doesn't neatly lob to Bach. Although you turn and be like, to you. Do you Babe Ruth that shit?
I mean, it like like a bicycle kick kind of thing. Like I'll just like do that like backflip, sort of like.
So the problem is when you hit it, you kill it.
Oh crap!
So it doesn't lob over and explodes. So you got to make a.
Can I use my intervene skill?
That you could do. So you can become the target. Yeah, he's actually trained in like protecting the asses of his companions.
If I can see that it's like she's kicked it and now somehow like she maybe kicked it right in the mouth and it's not coming off her foot, and I'm like, oh, that's bad. So I'm gonna like leap over and try to like get it off.
So to me, that means you're going to take, you literally jump on the grenade.
I'm literally jumping on the toad grenade.
Make an endurance save.
You got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I love endurance saves. Oh, 2 6s this time. Yes.
Okay, so you take no damage. They don't take root. But yeah, Grimclaw, I love Paulo's description of it, like kind of gnawing on your foot, like you kind of shaking the foot, like shit.
Yeah.
And
Get
Bob
it off!
jumps over, and there's like a poof, and it is dead. Twofer.
Yes.
What you do?
I mean, kickball looks fun, but I'm gonna stick with lobbing asphalt.
Okay.
Come on.
So
You got a
give me-
badass shield though. Do you think?
Give me a hurl test.
One
Shout
success.
out to our mutual buddy Maverick from my times as a bouncer. I think our hurl test. I remember that having a very different meaning.
One success. I got one
So
success.
that's enough. Do your damage.
All right.
Rah, rah, ree. Shoot another 3. Rah, rah, asphalt. Hit him with some asphalt.
9.
That's poof dead. So go ahead, and I'm actually going to make this one a freebie, because you did take the round to pick up the door, and that's going to be another no problem. It's my turn. There's 2 more left. They're too stupid to flee, so they're going to pick the 2 people who are out front. So definitely not Trix, because he's back. Proctor was also being protected. Bach is profoundly not protected. So I'm going to say that Bach and Twofer are the ones shot at, because Grimclaw is also being protected by Bach right now.
I am. He's kind of over top of me right now.
Yeah. So Bach, I hit. So I'm actually going to do damage, which these haven't done before. What's your defense against in the second category?
Let's see. Defense.
Flashing.
Yeah.
Well, I've got the junk mail. Does that help?
Yeah. On the lower right hand corner, there should be 4 numbers with slashes
Oh, yes.
under armor.
Yes.
You
Armor.
want the second one.
Second one, 4.
Okay. Because it's junk mail is excellent. Only one of these dice hits, and only the one that does a crit. So that's 2, 4, another 6, 6, 8. Okay, you're going to take 8 hits,
Woo.
which also means you're going to take 1 injury.
Right.
All right, I'm going to use my fortitude.
Aha!
Defy wounds.
And you just, well, you're not wounded yet. It's only an injury.
Gotcha. All right.
Do you have defy injury?
No, just wounds and fortitude.
Okay, cool. So this is a step that can lead to wounds. Basically, you get beat up with injuries, and eventually those fall through to wounds, which are much more serious. You're so tough that even if that happened, you're like, yeah, it's an injury. Yeah, I'm wounded. I don't care. But that hasn't happened yet. 2 for miss. I'm going to guess that's hit on the shield. And then we will go to Proctor.
Okay, my troll shield has left me. How many of these frog things are left?
2.
2. Of what I know of these, well, how big is the frogs? How big are they? You
They're
said
the-
baby head, so like this big.
They're about that big, yeah.
Okay. Do I know if they are dangerous simply to hold? Will they explode just if I
All
hold
you've
them?
heard is impact. So you're not sure.
So if you grab
Right.
one and try to pick it up and pet it.
No, I'm going to see if I can lob it. I'm going to pick it up, try to pick it up, and throw it as far away from me as I can.
Okay, so
Come
he
over
runs
here.
up to one. So go ahead and make a brawl melee.
Yeah, brawl melee. I actually am surprisingly good at brawl melee for a scientist, which is probably why I'm not so good a scientist. All right. Is this again everything over 2? What is with brawl melee?
You're only looking for success. This is your test.
5s and 6s. I got 1
So
5,
you're-
1 6, so 2 successes.
Yeah. So that means you pick it up and then it immediately starts bulging a little like they've been doing. So now you need to make a reflex save to throw it fast enough. You have,
Reflex save.
you've
Okay.
initiated hot potato.
Not my best skill.
So
Crossing
get
fingers.
rid of it.
4, 4, and 1.
Okay. So now you're gonna have to make an endurance save because it explodes.
Oh,
So you start
was-
to throw it, you don't move fast enough, and it just basically explodes in your face.
Hot potato. And I got 4, 4, 5, and 1.
Okay. You feel a sting on your cheek, and then you reach up, and there isn't anything except a little bloody mark, which implies that it has moved
This is
subdermally.
not good.
Oh god.
We gotta
Correct.
smash it right away. Hold still.
Tricks, you're up initiative wise. There's only one left.
I made it explode.
Yeah, no, good,
were.
good job,
Notice
Professor.
Well, we see one more flash of lightning, and there is an explosion.
I was gonna say I moved to near range to make sure I don't miss it. And
That's all.
shoot it.
Bach, are you serious about smashing his face?
No.
Okay. I don't know.
I mean, do any of us have like a any kind of medical knowledge or something? No, there is
Yes.
medicine.
That's the last one? Or
Yes, I
Where's
am an
medicine?
expert medicine.
Yeah, he killed the last one. There's
Okay.
no active ones anymore.
I'm expert medicine. Give me a knife.
Okay,
Fine.
so I'm assuming you have a knife.
Are you really? I don't believe you.
I have a knife, but
I am.
I'm actually gonna go over to Professor and
Yes.
I'm gonna go, you gotta hold still. And I just grab his head. And I'm just like,
Bah,
Okay.
hold him still. I think I need to cut this thing out.
now you
So-
squeeze it like a zit. And I
Unless
just
the
like,
DM says roll your medicine to know that you shouldn't be doing that.
The first thing, though, is you're going to have to make a reflex save to do it fast enough.
Right.
Okay.
I am gonna
One
try to hold his
success.
head still. So
So,
One success on the
okay, all you
reality.
need is one. So that's fast enough. Now you got to make a medicine test. Down one die.
Down one die.
Oh Lord.
One success, one partial.
So you literally cut, like you do like a snake. You cut a little X, and then you reach in with a tweezers, and you pull out a little seed that's already sprouted little like tentacle things. So
Oh,
it's
I show it to the professor, and I'm like, this is why picking those things up is a bad idea.
it's
And
a
I
little
squish
like a seed that's burst to reveal like a tentacled tadpole inside, and it was swimming to find a place to take root in your body cavity.
I just hold his head and scream in his face, don't you die on me! Don't you die on me!
but I
Oh, hey, after I squish it,
Just,
I still have the knife and the tweezers. I'm like, did anybody else get hit by one?
no.
Fortunately, no.
no.
Everybody's like, no.
Tuver just like lifts her shield and is like,
That's a great shield. I mean, it's no Nissan
keeping it.
Sentra, but
What is yours?
Toyota Corolla makes a good shield.
It's true.
So you'll take a little bit of a rest. The professor looks a little pale.
It's probably because he's so pale to begin with. I mean, if he was green, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Can I
We
can I
understand.
use my medicine skill to try and patch up Bach?
You won't need to because you really only need medicine when people have taken wounds.
Okay.
Injuries are kind of like being beaten up. It's when the wounds they also take a lot longer to heal. But nobody's taken enough damage to go to wounds yet. So you're fine. Fortunately, you kept those are real dangerous if you don't kill most of them at range. If they get in close and any of those take root, it's real bad news. But that didn't happen. So everything's fine.
Yay.
That
wasn't almost deadly for Proctor at all.
I had to use my advantages, but I'll get those back.
Yeah, I think Intercede is once per combat.
Right.
So that'll come back. Yeah.
Oh, that's
And most of them are like that. It's per battle.
Right.
All right. So on you go. We will then rejoin the party as they're nearing Simon. So Simon, you see it up on a little bit of a hill because they're generally set up that way because then there's parking and there's proper for runoff and all that good shit. So they tend to be uphill rather than down. And one thing, even from a range, you can see that they've got at least partial power because it's late afternoon, early evening, and there is some light on. You, as a group, which of you do you think may have been here to help merchants sell? Like, would any of you? I think Grimclaw's poorly suited given the militant stance.
I believe I would because barter is one of my only influence skills.
Yeah, you'd be looking
It is
for
my
your,
only
your
influence.
stuff too, because there's a market there.
Yeah.
Okay, so things you know about this. We'll say that Trix knows this stuff. We're also going to say that Bach knows, because we'll say that often when he goes, Bach looks out for him. He's
that
been.
would be a good plan.
You would know he's been looking for pieces for that armor, the janky armor he's building, for quite a while. So he's always going to the flea market in the old mall, looking for resistors and stuff.
Just looking for a better stick, usually. Just
I'm sure there's a folding table and the sign that says "Stick, Stick, Sticks." It's your favorite booth. What you know about this place is it's run by scavenger mutants. They are. I picture, and again, I don't know why I apologize. I'm not sorry. I'm going to pretend I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the movie references, but if you've seen Wizards, all of the gas mask wearing, kind of latex suit, vaguely fetish looking, the way they depicted mutants in that movie, that's kind of what I'm picturing. Is really crazy gaunt. I think I danced with this guy. But then kind of the green bodysuit thing and then the gas mask. They don't have them on all the time, but you're in a rad zone. So many of them do leave them on all the time. You know that it's run by someone they call Hub. Rumor is, although you've not met Hub, that Hub is literally a hub and is wired into the settlement. And so it's literally part of the settlement. You also know that the big attraction of the place is something they call the Terror Dome. So they have arena combat. And it's a big pull locally. It's one of the reasons when you had your off-screen conversation about who do we go to ask for help, the place with the big arena might be a good place to start. So you've come here hoping you can find a way to convince them to help you against curse. So the party will enter, and all around are a variety of random raiders, which are just kind of like wasteland bikers, scavengers that most likely live here. There are a few goblins from associated nomadic tribes, unassociated, just random nomadic tribes. So it's very, there are some settlements that are sort of aspirational, like they're trying to become the new future. This is not that. This is like if you took a Texas flea market and then dipped it in radiation and then maybe took it shopping at a fetish market. It's just everything's like a little damp, and everybody looks like equally likely to like go to a side room to get it on or just start stabbing each other. So who is leading?
Like a very spicy burning flip side.
Yes. Yes.
Or a Rammstein concert, either.
Or
I'd like to go to.
Elysium late on a Saturday. Who would be leading the expedition? Well, is this Trix? You'd be going because you know the booths and stuff?
Yeah, I know the booths because I come here to get the stuff for my Mandalorian armor.
Do you have a plan? Do you want to just ask to see Hub? What do you want to do?
Grimclaw, what do we want to do?
Well, so what I'm thinking is if we can talk to Hub, we might have to get some kind of invitation to talk to them, whatever. But if we can talk to them, then maybe they can convince some of the people here to help us out and go back to the Arbus people.
Got it. We want to try and talk to Hub.
Yes.
So we're going to the arena.
Probably. We're probably going to make Bach just beat the crap out of people, but we'll get there when we have to.
So I go to, I frequent some of the shops. I go to some of the shops I frequent and kind of feel out trying to get an invitation to see Hub.
Okay.
Put the feelers out there that we want to talk to the Hub.
Maybe tell them we have power converters.
See if they'll
What?
gamble.
Maybe we can tell them that we know the secrets of Simon because I can play musical things in a systematic pattern in 4 glowing light balls. Just boop, 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 boop.
And then I
don't
can
wanna
follow
tell them-
along with my joints.
I don't want to tell them that we have power converters because A, I don't want to lie and get us in trouble. And B, if we had power converters, I'd be spending alone time with them.
That's also
So
true.
you go to one of your favorite booths. The booth is run by Pence the Rat Man.
Yeah.
Pence is an unusually conservative little dude. He's got really close cut white fur. He talks about he's apparently got a wife, but you've never met her, that he just calls mother. And you don't like him. He's
Shifty.
yeah, you kind of want to slap him, but you have the instinct that he'd enjoy it. So there's really no immediate way to deal with his repugnant vibe he gives off. Unfortunately for you, he runs a booth where he scavenges parts for you. So he's gotten you some of the stuff you put on you. My friend, come here. Jakes.
Yep. Friend has different meanings in Cudge and Common.
I'm sorry. So no homo. No homo, says the rat.
No homo.
I'm just your friend.
No homo. So
I like the ladies.
well, yeah, you have mother.
I sure do. In a biblical sense. Right, sex joke. I understand sex and
So
engage in it.
obviously, I'm still looking for stuff for the power armor, but also we were thinking about talking to Hub.
Grimclaw, it looks like he's trying to flirt with Trix and doesn't understand what he's talking about.
This is just the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
It really is. I have something set aside for you, my friend. You were looking for a power source, right?
Yes.
I have a bad one, but I know where the good one is.
Okay. How bad is it? I mean, I could probably fix it.
Well, it'll work for a little bit, but it'll burn out and you're going to have to reboot it. And so if you only need like a minute of power.
Oh, that's long enough to beat people up.
I mean, if they happen to be within a minute of where you are.
Yeah.
I mean, usually my enemies are way over there.
That makes sense.
So I've got a better source, but you'd have to go get it.
Where's it at?
I've seen a Type 40 being used to run the power in the meat wagon.
Ooh.
So you know the meat wagon is a vendor truck used by Migas the Meat Man. So it's a refrigerated truck, and he sells meat about which you shouldn't ask questions having to do with where it came from or what it is.
He sells the best pies in Simon.
It's best to not think about it, but if you just taste, it is almost acceptable.
That sounds fun. We still need to meet
I'm
with
in.
Hub, though.
Oh, yeah. Also, we need to meet with Hub.
All right.
I got distracted by the armor.
I don't know Hub, but you could go to the guard station up near the Terradrome, and they can set up a meeting for you.
Thank you very much.
So if this works out, make sure to tell me. You will owe me.
Yeah. How much is the power source?
Oh, the crappy one?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100 volts.
100 volts? It's going to work for 1 minute. I'll give you 30.
As handsome as you are, I am going to have to insist on 200 volts.
I understand. 40, and that's my final offer.
You just said that it was useful to fight for a minute. It seems very important to you.
Well, no, I'm just going to, it's only a minute. I mean, I'm like at least a 3 to 5 minute guy, if not longer.
I don't think Mother would approve.
You know, if you just pay me 5, I'll just hit him.
40
I
volts.
pay you 5 to hit him. He likes that kind of thing.
Oh, wait, no. If I will pay you 10 to not hit me, and I'll pay you, and you'll pay me 40. So here's 10 from him, and you pay me 30, and he takes out the little thing and hands it to you.
All right.
I've warned you this is unreliable, so don't
No
get
problem.
killed and then come crying to me.
Unreliable is what I travel with.
Oh, yes,
the,
he
the
does.
camera would pull back to show Trooper.
We're just like looking up into space right now.
Whose cybernetics you literally put in. All right.
Hey, Toofer, we got a new battery superpower charger for you.
Oh,
Or
I mean,
we can
obviously
use
can't
it.
put it in right now, but
Well, or we could use it to replace the one in the meat market and then take the nice one at some point. That might be useful.
it's only going to last for a minute. The meat's not needs to be kept for longer than a minute. I'm saying this as we're leaving to go to the guard station.
Right.
And I'm like, but I could take this one. It only runs for a minute, and then it needs to be rebooted. But if I put it in Twofer, then when we get into a fight, Twofer could kick on the superpower and punch even harder and jump even farther
For a minute.
for a minute.
While you pass the Terradome, you see there's been a fight recently, and they've got those bristle brush, the big ones, and they're just cleaning up mess.
I feel like that's probably where the meat comes from.
They're using old car wash brushes.
Right. Yeah. That's now headcanon. It's like
What meat?
so you go to the guard station, and there's a couple of trolls on duty. Trolls tend to get work doing this kind of thing because they look the part. Whether or not they have any actual talent for it, they look imposing. And they're wearing modified sports padding that they're using as armor.
Hey, go back.
You got
Hey,
a
your people,
client
you talk so
report or something?
What? Hey, Trix, what do we want?
To talk to Hub.
Have to have.
Hey, fellows, we need to talk to Hub. It's really important.
Hub's kind of busy usually. I mean,
Well, we know that's why we got to talk to him, because it's very, very important.
let me check my bribe hand to see how busy he is. And my bribe hand is empty, and that tells me He's probably really tied up with important business.
I don't know what
They-
we have that we could trade.
They look
Ooh.
about as big as I do.
Mike.
Yeah.
Do I happen to have something, and since we keep referencing movies, something akin to like, say, it looks, even if it's not, something that would look like a thermal detonator or something that looks like it would be really highly explosive?
It's a baseball with little things drilled
Sure.
into it, but it's
Okay,
colored silver now.
then I pull that out and I go, oh, I've got this. And I start to put it into his hand. And I go, it'll only kill all of us.
Make a intimidate. You can add 1 die.
Oh, cool.
I unstrap my shield from my back and like move it to the front to sell it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get behind her then too. I'll be like, all right, Tufo, just sort of snick.
I just went one eye.
One
Keep
success.
pressing like.
Lean into it.
One success.
So they both back up and pull submachine guns.
Oh Lord.
Well, you're now the last people we're going to let in to see the boss
For real.
because you threatened us with a grenade. So use
No,
the
no,
grenade.
no. I wasn't threatening you. I was offering you. You said you wanted a bribe. I was giving you a grenade.
One of them turns to Bach. He expects us to buy that, right?
It's not on.
He's not very smart.
It's not on. It's
And I bet this thing doesn't even work. And I'll take what I really hope is not an actual grenade, and I will just.
Okay, well, it'll do a little like can crumpling.
Yeah,
And probably like something like battery fluid or something dribbles from it.
I will try to use my intimidation, which is a 6.
Are you trying to intimidate them?
Well, it's more of just like I'm trying to show them how tough I am to try to like be cool with them.
Okay.
So
No need for a roll. That's fine. But the reason being, remember, if you intimidate, the result is intimidated. And that's not always what you want, right? So they like one of them chuckles. Yeah, that's not so your little buddy there, he kind of blew the pooch there.
he's exuberant.
Gentlemen, pardon me if you would. I seem to have found something.
Human speaking.
Yes. I think this fell out of your empty bribe hand, and I hand him 20
Oh!
volts.
Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything racist by that human comment. Let me go ahead and stretch my bribe hand.
Oh yeah, there you are. Oh look, it was 20 volts laying right there on the ground, fell right out of your hand while you were discussing things with Goblin, who does not know what he's talking about. He's most apologetic he is.
Let me
His
go
own
and
way.
see if the shut-in who never goes out or does anything is busy. I'll be right back. And one of the two trolls goes through a security door and goes inside.
Bach, that is the opposite of how you're supposed to use a grenade.
That's how you use grenades. This is how I use grenades.
And it was effective.
It worked, didn't it?
It looked like fun.
I
comes
mean,
back
I was
out.
just trying
Please
to train him with
never
grenades.
ever get grenades.
And gestures. Come on in.
All
Love to
right.
see you.
I guess we'll
Um,
walk in.
I'm gonna need you to leave like your real obvious weapons. Like we've got a little check-in counter over here. Like I'm not gonna have you like walking in to see the boss with like a shotgun or whatever that thing is. I mean, after the
Tuver
grenade
kind
thing-
of looks left, looks right, and then goes and stands by all the weapons. Just
So
we're all just going to pile our weapons on Tufer.
So all right, so we're gonna check.
I
in
just
your-
assume you meant me.
We'll check in your friend. That's fine. And
I do the Mad Max thing. I'm like, just
He
piling
points
all
the
kinds
lightning
of
gun.
electronics.
He points at the lightning gun. After the grenade incident, I'm not convinced that does anything, but we're still gonna have to leave it here.
I go, wait, if you want to see the real grenade, this is my shotgun, which is gonna explode at any moment.
Let's take that and put that over on your friend with the cybernetic limbs. There you go. All right.
Twofer becomes
Twofer's
a
thrilled
gun
about
rack.
Yes.
So everyone else, come with me, and he takes you into what was at one point was the security ops center for the mall. So it's the kind of place that has little TVs, and also in the back they had added basic computer racks. So their server racks and everything were in this room. There's a person here that's actually suspended from something that's mounted to the ceiling, so that they can get around by. There's something like this in Mad Max, where the mechanic had the thing with the chains to move around, kind of like that, but has a lot of old like Cat 5 cables like plugged into like little implants. So it's literally wired into the room. And there is a skinny old man. You think also one of these rubbery fleshed mutants, but really old. So really long, stringy white hair, cybernetic eyes. And tattooed on his chest, it says Hub.
Wow.
Hello, he says, out of a little vocoder thing in his throat.
Greetings, Hub. We are a party of adventurers that are new natives, and we need some help. It seems that the warlord is coming to our town, and we need warriors to come assist us with killing him.
Oh, so normally we get asked for reinstitution of our discount program or places to set up booths for merchants. I think the last time your little friend here was here, he was asking about selling diodes or something. But you
that
need
tracks.
forces.
Yes.
Why would we do that?
Well, there's a lot of things that we could probably negotiate into that kind of thing, but I was kind of thinking maybe if we fought in a Terradome and did a really good job, then maybe you would be able to lend us some people who haven't died in it. But I will say that if we don't get defended, then eventually he's going to come here.
Curse.
Thank you. I don't know why I forgot his name, but yeah, so if Narak doesn't get defended, then Curse will come here eventually, and it's only a matter of time.
You are familiar with Warlord Curse, yes? I mean, these markers
Yes,
everywhere.
we've been tracking his movement through Texon, and this does seem to be in the right direction.
Indeed. I know I am not looking like Goblin, like the rest of them are Goblin troll type peoples, and I am not. But I assure you, I have spent many times with these people, and they are telling the truth here. Curse is not to be. He will not stop unless we stop him. Narak only first stage in his conquest. He hungers. He hungers for land and power and control, like you clearly hunger for last Twinkie on Earth. It is definitely something we must work together on. I'm doing my best to persuade here.
I was persuaded.
Oh, it's good.
The problem is that no roll, because you are unaware of what his needs are, and it doesn't. What you offered, though compelling, didn't actually address anything that matters to him. So he gives you a look of your well-spoken appeal to my decency and humanity has landed on deaf, potentially massively immoral and ethical ears. I presume you're some kind of academic?
Yes, I study goblins, actually. I'm writing book.
It's going to be a bestseller. It really is.
If there's anyone left to read.
So you mentioned the Terradome.
Yep.
One thing that I am is I have a keen interest in profit. Do you have among you anyone that looks like they'd be a terrible fighter, but then surprised they're not?
Boy, do we. We sure do.
I-
She's
I
a
was
little tiny
hoping-
goblin.
I was gonna say I would assume it'd be the weapons rack outside.
We
She's
may
a
have
little
left
tiny
her
goblin.
out.
She's actually standing outside, and she's
Oh,
a little
big-
bigger than me, but a little smaller than Grimclaw. And she could fuck up like 12 guys at the same time.
Punching wise, I mean, it's not that other kind of show.
Yeah, no, beat them up.
Are they?
Snap thanks.
Do you think they could play dumb?
Are you asking me to get my friend to throw a fight, or just
No.
to lead someone in until they punch the face in at the last minute?
For this to be useful to me, they have to look like they're not going to win. And then I can ramp up the wagers. And then, surprise, they do win. And I make big profit. And then I can talk to the various warriors here that have fought in the Terradrome. And instead of giving you winnings, I can employ them for you and send them to help you with your little problem.
That actually sounds like a really good suggestion. I'm kind of surprised that happened in this.
I'll
That's
be
good.
right back. I go out where Trix is at.
Okay, so I assume you're literally just standing there with a weapon.
It's just
Have I been observed the whole time?
There's a dude, and he's got he's got a hood that was a unicorn hoodie at one point, but it's kind of sad. And he's reading an old magazine. So he's kind of looking your way. There's security, but it's not real good security.
Because I was gonna say if I could find like a different shotgun, I could just leave this one here.
Roll a
Take a
D6.
similar one.
Roll a
You know what they say,
D6.
always leave with a better shotgun than you came with.
That's what scouting taught me.
3.
All right, so you have made an exchange of shotguns. The guy was looking, because you turn back around and he's looking at you. He smiles and he does this. He goes back to reading the magazine. And at this point, Trix comes up.
Twofer, I have really exciting news. How would you like to beat up a bunch of people?
Is it my birthday?
Okay, but there's a little bit of a catch. At first, you have to pretend like you're not going to win, because what's going to happen is they're going to ramp up the bets and people won't think you're going to win, but I know you can win, and then they're going to bet against you. And then when you do win, the guy making all the bets is going to make a lot of money, and then he's going to give us a bunch of warriors to go defend our city.
Say it again real slow like I'm stupid.
So on your way back,
Just kidding. I got it.
I know. You're in?
I'm in.
All right. I go back inside.
So
Twofer's in.
So to me, the most efficient way to do this sounds like a cross cut to a full arena with a bunch of local denizens. We call them denizens, who are all drunk and horned up for bloodshed and super happy to see newcomers have signed up. And one of them is Twofer. They have dressed you up to cover your cybernetics. So
a big
normally-
ugly leather jacket or something.
Really quick, Mike.
Yeah.
How long do we have before this is happening?
As long as you need, bearing in mind the reason for the montage was time.
Right. I was just saying, is there time for me to scope out this new battery I got, figure out a way to hook it up to Twofer to give her a nice power boost for a minute during a fight?
Ooh, that sounds fun.
It will probably burn it out, but you could add it as the equivalent of like
A nitro.
nitrous. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like a nitrous can.
Exactly.
And maybe even make a big, like get one of those old like things from the what the hell were the paper you buy paper. The Home Depot, they had those switches.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the
Like-
easy button.
Oh, the
you
easy
put
button.
an easy button on your chest so that you just go like that,
Staples easy.
and then you get a boost.
Oh,
and everything.
See, Mike's gonna be in the middle of the fight and go, that was easy.
All right.
Great. This is the best idea we've had in a long time.
So I'm going to need from you, Trix. You're going to need to give me a tinker test.
All right.
Ooh.
I don't have a lot of dice in this.
Almost no one does because of the way the system works.
3 successes.
What?
Balls.
I have 5 dice.
So
6, 6, 6.
Montage of you wiring things, and you've got your own kit with you. And Twofer, you now have an easy button on your chest. Probably mounted right below the collarbone.
You can hear that weird, excited whirring.
That's nice.
That's just going to make you even more enticing for all the people that are about to fight you. Oh, look, she's even labeled as easy. This is great.
So
Once you're writing the easy sign.
I think they're actually going
It has like a little plastic thing over it that you have to break in order to hit the easy button.
It's like a flip up cover.
They're actually going to announce you as easy. They don't actually use your name.
That's great.
Ladies and gentlemen, and whatever. Next up, Easy. Yay. As expected, there isn't a lot of enthusiasm about you. I am going to need a deceive roll with an extra 2 dice.
With extra 2.
You spent a lot of your life working on being badass and looking intimidating. You need the opposite.
1 success.
That's enough. So you managed to look like you work at a Starbucks or something. And you come out and the audience is very unimpressed.
Got an apron. Great.
Paolo, what do you think that the combatant is named? Give me a name and a brief description of the misfit that enters the ring opposite Easy.
Snorg.
Snorg. What does Snorg look like?
Is this a big bruiser?
Yeah, it'd be like and not like a champion, but like
still.
Is he like a literal like bulldog though? Like
bulldog guy. Totally a bulldog guy.
His shirt is all wet from the slobber.
from just the snot.
But
and
it's not the entire shirt. It's tank top, wife beater with stains.
And we'll say he's got the spikes that like some of the traditional bulldogs would have on the thing, but he doesn't have a collar. It's just mounted.
It's just
Like actual spikes in
his
Subdermal spikes.
Yeah. All right. And everybody knows him, and he's like a mid-level. They apparently think you're one of the people they put up against people like this to make a bloody show, which means something else. But
yes,
it's
we're having a baby.
wow. All right. So
meat pie guys like standing on the side, just waiting for the vitriol to
what
come
I'm
out.
going to need from you, yeah, definitely. Migas the meat man would show up and I have meat, all kinds of meat. 6 volts for a chef's choice roll-up special churro beef.
If there's any time before to like talk to anybody, go, oh, my money's on Snorg. Oh, there's no way. You're like, that's the safe bet right there. If I could like talk it up just a little bit.
Want to ramp that up a little bit? Oh, give me a persuade.
I want to do something similar, but I want to do it kind of in the opposite way. I want to be like the trainer for Twofer and sort of be like, it's all right. You're going to be good. You're going to do great. This is your first fight. Don't worry about it. You're going to be fine.
Give me a deceive with an extra
All right.
die.
Yay. 1 success.
Okay. Yeah.
When you have a sec, Mike. I pull Meat Market Mike off to the side, like get him where we can talk private, like, and tell him, hey,
I'm working.
I'm about to make you more money than you could possibly imagine.
Ooh.
Like 8,000 volts.
Yeah, so many volts. So what if I could guarantee that you would win the next bet?
I don't bet.
I know, but it's not a gamble, it's a guarantee. So if you bet,
that's what gamblers say. You want taco?
no, what I want is the power system running your van. And so I figure if I can make you enough money that you can retire, then you could sell me the power system running your van.
Well, I don't wager.
Okay, what if I wagered it for you?
What if you want to buy my power source? I'm gonna need an alternate power source and a shit ton of cash.
How much cash?
I know what I've got. 2,000.
All right.
I mean, this thing can drive a fucking tank,
All right.
which is damn near what this truck is.
Right.
So, all right. I mean, good luck with your gambling.
But I'm telling you,
I advise against it. I watch it all the time. I work here.
I know.
I have seen a river of tears of fools, my friend.
I'm telling you, it's
a lot of them talk like
thing.
that. Here's me being, I'm telling you, it's a sure thing. It's not even a gamble. Oh no, I just bet my children. I needed those.
All right.
I needed.
What if?
I just sold my children to Mike. Oh no.
All right.
All right. Here. Have a taco.
Thank you.
Guaranteed meaty. It's completely meaty. Trust me. Nothing dangerous here.
Absolutely.
So
Definitely not a grenade.
I'm gonna need from you.
Bet everything on Twofer.
Or some of you actually gonna be throwing out some cash.
Yeah, I need to be able to buy the power source for my power armor.
Right. So give me a persuade roll.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
What's the plan here? That I'm basically throwing this fight until Grimclaw gives me a signal that I'm no longer throwing this fight?
That's what they're telling you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Mhm. What'd you need for me?
Are you playing along?
Yeah.
Then
Okay.
crush him.
Give me a persuade.
Persuade. Ooh.
It's gonna be a
So
series of
good
rolls.
at persuasion. 5 and a 1.
Okay, well, 5 is partial. Now give me a deceive.
Ooh. 2 3s.
Okay. So here's the thing. You're not selling it really well. So your options are go ahead and be a badass or sell it by taking a bunch of damage.
Ooh.
Because your
I think-
acting is not holding up.
Right.
Right, because I'm gonna naturally kind of fall into fighter stance and like whatever. I think at that point, kind of realizing that I kind of gave it away a little too soon is take some punches, like make some bad moves. I would say, except they've hidden my cybernetics, I'd say like make it look like I've got a glitch.
Are you willing to let this dude hurt you?
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, we're
I'm
not
also-
actually
I
doing.
a lot metal.
At this point, we're not worried about combat because that's not what you're doing. You are, however, going to go to half hits. So you're currently at 15.
Okay.
Take 2 injuries and 1 wound.
Can I go ahead and take a no, not yet. I'm gonna okay, so down to 50. That pencil is dead.
Fix you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Playing the $6 million
And
man
at that
theme song in
point-
the background.
Do I know about? I mean, have I seen these fights before? Have I been
I
there
mean,
before?
you've seen them. You've been to this arena for sure.
Is it a little bit more? Is it anything like a professional wrestling match where like I could jump in and be like no, and then like make it more dramatic, or would that be
You
against
think
the
that would
rules?
screw up Hub's bets
Okay? Well, then I'll just watch
Because
you forget it. Her
well,
ass
because
kicked.
because it might continue, right? That might work. But if he's wagering, coming in and changing all those odds.
Right. No,
Right.
I'll just
Yeah.
let her get beat.
Okay,
So yeah, so Twofer just sits there and like takes a bunch of hits, but you can tell like she's getting antsy, and you can sort of see that thing like where like her leg gets extra long and like whatever, like she's itching.
So I need another deceive roll with an
All right.
extra die.
Professor, how much money you got? Give it to me.
One
Less
success.
now.
I'll give it back.
So what do you got?
One success.
That's enough. All right, that would have been comedic if nothing else if you'd failed that one, because it would have been you didn't sell it. It was clearly I was beating on you, and you have to look more hurt than you are.
Right.
But you do. So at that point, you see one of the two trolls that was in the waiting area for Hub do this to you.
I smile.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm gonna need initiative
Yeah.
because now it is combat,
I want to see what this button's gonna do.
and neither one of you has weapons. So this big bulldog dude's been hitting you with his bare hands.
And
You
I
suspect you might be
gave Trix
cheating
my
a little.
last 10 volts.
13.
You're poor.
All right.
All right.
I just gave 2/3 of my whole lifetime earnings to bribe hand.
He
Yeah,
goes
you're poor,
first,
but it's okay.
and he hits
I'll
you.
get it back to you.
What is your first defense? Your bashing.
My bashing. That's the which one?
The first one.
Oh, the first one, 4.
Okay, so it's you're gonna take 8 hits of the 15 you have left.
Oh,
That's gonna be an injury, so you're gonna have to,
I'd like to defy injury.
excellent. So that one hits you, and because you're now fighting, do you just give us a smile or something when he hits
Yeah.
you? And it should have been okay.
I
So
do that
you're-
thing where he hits me and I just like plant, absorb it, and then like
Bach,
like shake it off for a second. And goes,
yeah.
Bach has like the next one up from there, which I think is
Right.
called Bloody Grin, where he can take the damage, turn, and do the Bruce Lee Bloody Smile.
Oh,
and just
nice.
Freaks the fuck out of lesser opponents automatically.
Yeah.
All right, you may counterattack.
All right.
Time to make him regret his life choice.
I probably
Okay, remind me, grapple just means that I'm
Are you waiting in case you have to intervene? Bach?
No. I'm just like watching this fight. Like, oh, that's what I would do. That's my move. That's when I would. I'm like I'm trying to like telepathically like give him the bloody grin. Come on, like I'm just yeah. I'm probably very excited right
Love
now.
it.
all right. So what does it mean, lesser opponent for grapple?
Not a named opponent. So it's there's a couple of old role-playing games where they use the term mook. So
Right.
for example, any of the crazy eights would be lesser opponents, but the schoolgirl with the ball on a chain would not be a lesser opponent. They would be like a named lieutenant or like
Deputies.
Got
Tanya.
it.
They're
Right.
deputies.
exactly. The rules treat them differently. So this guy
Uh-huh.
is not a lesser opponent
Okay,
because he's
got it.
Snork.
Because he's
And it's
snored.
Paulo's fault. He named him.
All right,
Beautiful.
that's fine. I will just unarmed. Let's just brawl. Let's
Okay.
just brawl.
And remember, going to 0 hits does not knock you out. It's just more dangerous.
Right.
When you're looking at your hits, don't think of it in terms of D&D where you hit 0, that's over and done. You can go to negative your maximum hits. So you're actually far from done, but you are pretty beat up.
Okay, but I'm gonna do unarmed because he's right there.
Yep.
Do my brawl dice, my melee dice, right?
Roll melee dice. Yep.
Okay. I've got 3 successes.
Okay. He has an advantage that would allow him to dodge, but that wouldn't be enough to counter that. So go ahead and roll your damage with an extra die. Oh my God, that's 7 dice.
Yeah, 7 dice.
Good Lord. His defense, however, is 3. So like you, he has subdermal armor,
Right.
although his is not as good as yours. So he is also cheating. Like when he's been
So
hitting you,
anything better than a 3.
anything 3 or up will do.
3
2.
or up. Okay.
And only 6 is also going to do your crit damage.
Right. And then I've got 1 6. Oops. So that's
Then you always get to re-roll the 6s for damage.
18.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Wham!
You hit him. He staggers back. He does not fall down.
I would like to think I
growls.
sucker punched him in the nose.
Yeah,
He's already
we'll
flat
get some
nose.
blood going from the nose. He
Bad
growls at
doggy.
you, growls like a dog, and he does almost the Curly from the Stooges thing, where he kicks he drags the ground with his right foot, and
Yeah.
then charges you.
Do I have my shield?
No, you do not. He hits you, and that's 2 1s. That's not great. That is 6 more points, though, and 6 points is an injury. So you have to roll a d6. So you would have put the first 2 at 1 and 2. Roll a
wait.
d6 to see. So going
6
into the
and an
fight, you had taken 2 injuries and 1 wound.
Right.
So on your sheet, you would have marked 1 and 2 for injuries.
Right.
Now you roll a d6 to find out where this new injury lands.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And if it lands into basically a box that's full, it falls through to being a wound.
All
So
right.
the idea is you get more and more torn up, and then that
Right.
becomes more serious.
No, it didn't.
Okay, so you're now just a little more injured,
Okay.
which is obviously more dangerous as you move forward. You may counterattack. Do you hit your easy button or you keep going?
No, I'll keep going.
Okay, roll hit.
4 dice. Hang on. My hand's not this big.
My
easy
hand's
peasy.
not this big.
2 successes.
All right, so go ahead and roll your damage. 3 or higher scores 2 points. 6 also scores your crit. Reroll 6s.
3 or higher rerolls. Okay, wait. Okay, 1, 2, 3,
Get him too far.
4, 5, 6. Oh no. 7.
Okay, that's going to take him to that. He's not looking good. Let's see. Let's see if he gives.
I
Oh.
didn't know if this was going to be to the death or not. I mean, we knew that she wasn't going to die, but I don't know if she's killing this other person.
So Bach knows these fights pretty well. And generally they fight till one of them is just down. So it's not necessarily to death or not, because sometimes they do die. But they beat each other until one of them stops fighting. Occasionally someone will give up, but that person probably doesn't get to fight again because they're no good. They're not a strong fighter, right? So generally you're expected to keep fighting until you go down. He keeps fighting. And he lands a blow, but only does 4 points.
So, for Fortitude 2, where it's 6 extra hits.
That's already that's figured in.
Okay.
Yep, that's already part of your total.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So what's your current hit bonus?
My
Or your hit
current
points?
1.
Okay. What temperature do you think it is at? 1. Okay, and counterattack.
You can
And
use the button.
Bach is very intent, but I think the other members of your party are probably watching the room. And clearly people working for Hub are working the wagers, just like you were told. So you see large amounts of votes changing hands. There are also some people that aren't literally changing hands with money, but they've got little scraps of paper on the
4,
table.
6.
Oh, I thought you meant they were actually like taking the hands off, giving it to each other. Actually trade. You will know be my glove when I encounter you again.
10.
So you smack him in the face one last time. He lets out kind of a yipping groan,
Well, that's awful.
sags to his knees, and then falls over to the side. Crowd goes wild. And they start chanting, "Easy, easy, easy." I need a insight check from Grimclaw and from Proctor.
I am like way too absorbed in like adoration right now.
People chanting your name.
People chanting your not name. That's not
I know,
easy
I
to
know.
read.
That's her fighter name.
My fighter name.
1 success and 1 partial.
Yeah.
Wow, that is horrible. I have a 5.
Okay.
One
So,
five.
Grimclaw, you notice that there are some people that were wagering that look annoyed and probably have figured out that part of this was manipulation, if not a full-on fix. But they're clearly trying to figure out, do I dare to say anything? Like, do I do anything? So the tone of the room among the hardcore gamblers is a little tense. Bach, do you celebrate Easy's victory? Do you do the jump into the ring and lift them up, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, if I can, I'm absolutely just run over there and like just like I guess
So
it's belts really to like, like
the gates are open. You come in and you see there's also 4 or 5 other bulldog people that
Mhm.
come in to lift up Snorg. It's apparently his dog pound, and they're all like taking them off to bandage him up. And you hear one say, "You gonna be okay, Daddy?"
Oh, Lord. He had a litter. That's awful.
All right, so
He came in here. All right, I don't want to hear it.
But put me on your shoulders.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
so Bach, you easily have the strength for this, but Tooper weighs a lot more than it looks like Tooper weighs,
like
because Tooper has like a half a, yep, Tooper's got half a Honda's worth of cyberware in them.
Half a Honda.
Yeah.
So the party heads back, and eventually, as this calms down and the money changes hands, you're taken back, you know, and there's no weapons check in this time.
I guess we're trustworthy now.
Trooper, you see Hub for the first time. Hub seems very pleased and says, "I'm very pleased."
I'm Twofer.
Well, Toofer. Did they explain the deal to you?
They said that I should get hit a lot and then I could hit back.
Did both parts of that really well. Like, I thought he was just going to clean your clock, but you mopped the floor with him.
Trix has not put a clock in me yet.
He did not hit hard enough.
I have not put
All
a
right,
clock in.
so
But that's something we should work on so you know what time it is.
Good point.
I'm going to get together some fighters for you. You think you're going to need to take back your settlement?
Yes, we need fighters to take back towards where the Arvis are, I think, because that's where we're encountering them.
Well, hopefully they have not taken
They're
Narak yet.
passing through where the Arbus are, and we're trying to get the Arbus also because he's kind of just
Right.
coming through that whole area. Yeah.
They moved on there and they refused to help with more help. So you've gone to get help through.
Uh-oh.
That's
Uh-oh.
Am I the only one he locked up for?
No, me too.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
Frozen Mike.
Welcome back. So we had a non-consensual suspension of service there, which led to a nearly on-time bio break, mid-game break. And glad to have you all back. We're going to rejoin the party. They have done the following. They have gathered some of the gladiators from the people of Simon. Among them is Snorg. Snorg, when he found out what the deal is, insisted on being among those that would come help Easy.
Yay!
And Storg actually has some like butter cookies for you. My pup made these.
I love cookies.
That's really sweet.
Our
He's a
biscuits.
fan.
And he's a dog. I don't know.
You can eat dog biscuits. I
I
should
can.
said that out
Yes.
loud.
His son is a fan of yours.
I'm a fan of your son.
He's
I
he
have
doesn't
no idea what
normally-
to say.
he doesn't normally like the fights, but he said it was something about you being strong enough to wear the word easy and still go in the ring like that. It was fucking inspirational and shit.
Man, now if we can just capture that big dog.
I'm inspired. I was gonna start a paper route.
I'm gonna get a puppy.
All right, so you have gone back to the Arbus, and they have sent along with, we'll give numbers. here.
Larry, did we get that power thing that
Oh.
Trix was looking for?
Wait,
that's-
how much money what were the
Yeah.
odds on Tricks? I mean, on Twofer.
So rather than do economic role-playing math, we will say that you took your various things to trade. You took the volts you had, you did some gambling, you put your money together, and you now have something that looks like a sort of a Stark Industries, break in case of bullet too close to heart kind of power source.
Yes.
Wow.
So you've got a thing that's like fist size that gives off the power of a standard generator. It's a high-tech generator.
But it doesn't say easy.
It does not.
It does not.
Probably
You're the
doesn't
only
pack
one
that
that's
kind of punch.
Twofer. Just you.
So you now have with you 6 thick, 2 C's, thick gladiators, and 8 gladiators and 6 Arbus, who are the 6-limbed, freaky centaur critters. So them plus you is nearly 20. So you have now headed back the direction of Narek. On the way back, and this is a couple of days later.
Right.
So you've gotten to know these various people very well. You spot a goblin who comes up from where he's hiding behind some bushes. Oh, yeah, over here.
All right.
So you know him. That's Pexy. Pexy lives in the town. I was hoping that you got away.
What do you mean got away from what?
And he spots Grimclaw and then self-consciously starts speaking in Kuj because he knows that you insist that's the only way forward for your people.
Right.
So, right. Sorry. So there was an attack.
When? Recently? And I'm going to keep speaking in Kuj too, because it's probably better to not necessarily tell all the people I just hired that this already happened and we missed the battle.
3 days ago.
Oh God.
Was it cursed?
It was symbol was barbed wire and there was a skull. And yes, I think so.
Who survives?
Heart.
Most survived. There was a lot of damage during the attack, but they weren't executing us. They just wanted us to surrender. So a lot of people got wounded in the firefight, but they let us attend them.
Where
So
are
if you
they?
survives-
Sorry, go ahead.
Does he
Sorry?
look hurt, Mike?
No,
Okay.
Pexy is apparently a sneaky little cuss who got away, all slippery like. No, they left, their full force is not there. They left a detachment to manage the town.
Oh. Well, it's
But it's
time to
occupied.
unmanage the town, I suppose.
They put somebody named Victor in charge.
How many people are there?
Less than 10.
Oh, that
It's
sounds
gonna
like great
be
odds.
easy.
Well, they took a lot of our gear. And when they first arrived, I mean, they were a pretty big army, dozens, and they were all pretty well armed. Some of them had plasteel armor, a lot of junk mail. I saw rifles, SMGs. They had a rocket launcher. But once they got us to stand down and took our weapons, they were content just to leave a smaller force to hold the place. I mean, you have like a small army here of your own, but the ones they left weren't just thug pigs. They were basically soldiers, right? So it's taking it back without anyone getting seriously hurt or ganked. Because I think once they're not worried about, when they were attacking before, it was clearly to make a point to get us to surrender. And they weren't really trying to kill us. But I have a funny feeling if we go in to liberate the settlement, they're going to try to ice us.
So, Mike, do we know what like physical description of curse?
Nope.
So we don't even know if he's human, mutant.
No, rumor, I mean, people say all kinds of things. The predominant theory is human, but no one that you know is human.
I asked Pex, is how long ago did the main force leave?
Well, they were only there about a day, so they left a couple days ago. I think it's a major push. I think they're trying to take this part of the area. Now, we know they've been expanding out, but it's been real slow, like a settlement every few months. But this feels like they were setting up gathering forces, and they're. So do you know what Risk is?
Yeah.
So in Risk, it's this board game, right? And in Risk, you gather all your forces, then you at a certain point you just go Yahoo, and you run around the board just taking things over, and then the game kind of ends. It looks like they're doing a Risk move. Like they got a big army and they're just running around the board, scooping up settlements.
You build up in Papua New Guinea, and then you bust out and take over Asia.
You have played. Yeah. I hate that.
Can't we just be Australia and just be untakeable?
Well, that ship
Not anymore.
failed because we already were taken.
Yeah, we're like Ural, all right? We're just right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
All right.
Just never can hold Ural. It's just...
I'll settle for never held. I mean, like, maybe they've held it for a couple of days at this point, but
The only
feel
thing,
I'll hold you, Grimclaw. Don't feel that way.
the only thing that no one seems to understand, we can't figure out is normally a warlord will eventually pop up, right? And
the
go around
angels smite him,
flexing.
right?
Sorry?
And then the angels smite him down, right?
Exactly. They'll build up and they'll get big and they'll get dangerous, and then Skyfire comes and melts their camp. That hasn't happened. So there's all kinds of rumors that Curse is working with the angels, but we've never.
Or Curse is being very sneaky and staying so far off the radar and just delivering instructions that they cannot find him to eliminate him to cut the head off of the Hydra.
Or some kind of tech, because I don't know how the angels are monitoring anything. And if his main army has something that would hide them, but I don't know. We don't know any of that.
maybe Curse is just more of like a nom de plume, and they just pass it around to different people, and there's someone in the background.
Oh, so like a Dread Pirate Roberts kind of move?
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. It could be several different Dread Pirate curses.
So
interesting.
Dread Warlord curse.
We have two objectives, and we need to focus on one because we have army here.
Right.
We need to get our village, get your village, get the village back.
Thank you.
But we also need to find out what the long game is, because just getting village back is going to invite instantaneous, repercussion. He's just going to swarm us and drop everyone, and then we lose everything we fought for. Right. We have to know what the long game is in order to interrupt that so that we can take the village safely.
So what is the likelihood that the guys left behind even know the...
Well, one of them's got a name.
Well, so it's possible that this Victor,
right?
And I heard him yell 2 Ks like 3 times. Apparently, it's really important that you spell Victor with 2 Ks. So
2 Ks.
Kind of a schmuck.
2 Ks.
But the lieutenants, I mean, they might know more about their boss, right? But to even get to him, we gotta somehow lever into Narek. break their hold. Oh, tricks.
Yeah.
So a few of us got out, and our buddies, we took your armor with us.
What? I
Well,
was just gonna say, how are we gonna sneak in and get my armor?
Well, because good news, we took it with us. We thought if you were in a burning house or a house with warlords in it, what would you take? You'd take your ska records, you'd take your bacon, and you'd take your power armor.
You mean opera
Not
record?
the opera records? You
Opera
left
record.
the opera?
Opera record.
Oh, how sad. How
Uh,
sad.
I
Never
meant
again. Never
opera
again.
ska.
It's all right.
Scabra.
Scarborough.
Scarborough.
Scarborough is very important.
I
Yeah.
have a more important thing though.
Okay.
I have a plan. Now,
What-
now I know this is unusual for
Hang
me.
on. No. You can tell me the plan, and then I will speak it to my people because these are my people.
And
Alright.
Right.
really quick,
Twofer
So-
purposely stands behind Grimclaw, staring at the professor.
Do you
Okay,
actually use
and-
your
Yeah.
feet elevate a little bit?
Yeah, made myself a little taller.
Okay.
and hear me out. I was gonna say we got to figure out a way to get in, get my armor, and maybe get some supplies. But it sounds like this Double K guy, he's not like torturing the village or anything, right?
Do you ask
Yeah,
Bexy?
Ask
yeah. This is in
Torturing-
character. I'm saying. that.
Torturing, no, but and I understand this is like all of the occupied settlements. They're run by curse now. So
Right.
any profit they make is pulled for curse. There's pressure put on us to produce more to make more profit for curse. But they're not torturing us, but they're working for curse.
So, and hear me out. If we don't take back the settlement yet, then we don't show our hand. And what that does is it lets us continue to fly under the radar and try and figure out where Curse is, who Curse is, and maybe strike at like whatever settlement he goes to next. Maybe we liberate them.
So the problem with that is you're in part 2 of a guest shot.
Right.
And the rest of what you're describing is what the Corecast is doing with season 2, which is called Remove Curse. So you might have actually twigged to the overarching plot of the entire campaign, which is smart and accurate, but you can't do that in 40 minutes.
Nope.
My bad.
I have an idea though. What if we take this group of people that we have right now, we take the town over, and then we just pretend like it wasn't taken over. We keep flying the flag, but then we just like subtly, we pass messages on, but
We have a Victor impersonator.
exactly.
Which leads me to my plan.
All right. So explain the plan to me, and then I'll explain it to
But when
everybody
are we
else
fighting?
I go,
in a minute. All right. Go on.
Wait, I
Professor.
take the other goblins off to go deal with my armor, so they aren't even around to possibly hear the professor's plan.
Oh, good.
So they do, in fact, have it in a bunch of your tools.
Oh, good.
Nice.
So you may have noticed I look a lot different from the rest of you.
You do.
I do. I was thinking, what's easier, destroying one army or destroying half an army? So what if I go to the village and I distract half of them saying that Curse needs them as reinforcements to the next stop because there was a rebellion and an uprising and he needs half of the people. And I say, we go this way, and I let them go that way, and you swarm into town, take that half. And then when those people come back because there was no rebellion, then you take them too.
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Okay, wait, I have an idea.
All right. What do you
A
have?
human to go in and say that he's working with Kursk, and then he convinces half of them to go, and then we storm in, boom, and then when the other kinds come back,
Bach, you are so smart.
I like his version better. I think it will work better. All things considered. No, it's, I like it.
Course.
I like it. All right. Well, hey, look, you're going to be useful now.
Right. And to make it very official looking, I will write down the orders because Victor's not likely to be very literate. But I will have written orders that say we must divide the forces
You've got like a laundry list. It's going to be like get milk, get cheese, divide forces. Please go next.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter, yeah. Peanut
So it
butter's
looks
at the
like
bottom.
we have 2 montages that we can do overlapping.
Ooh.
Montage 1 is Trix getting the power armor working, putting the power source in it, attaching the lightning gun to one of the arms, like Iron Man like upgrade sequence.
Right.
The second one is making the professor look like a badass lieutenant of of Curse's forces. So a lot of like spray paint tagging his logo on the back of his nice coat, like finding some barbed wire to wrap around his wrist, like so.
I feel like it's like Goblin Eye.
Goblin eye for the human guy.
I would watch that.
Like Twofer and Grimclaw are totally like, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good aesthetic.
This
And
is
I'm
what a
gonna take-
badass human fighter looks like.
I'm gonna take some of the blood out of my eyes and just like smear it on him, like putting rouge on him, kind of thing. Like just all right.
I already have Scar. Look. Trix gave me Scar.
So, Bach, what flourish do you add to the professor?
Ooh, all right. I guess if there's some way to staple some barbed wire to him, I will just staple it right onto him. If I have to use one of those like wired nails, then I just like, yeah, we're just gonna like, yeah.
Oh,
Not into the skin. I'm not.
So you crucified the academic? Dear Lord, man. He's
I
a
do it
bleeder.
all the time. Just take the staple gun, like,
We are very cultured.
I love the idea that Bach is like the responsible dominant who's like, let me find out, how much does this hurt? I've got to try this. Except he's basically a bulletproof muscle mass. So he tests it himself, is like, oh yeah, that doesn't hurt. And then assumes that Proctor will react the same, which is not at all true. So his attention, Proctor, are rough. Grimclaw, what flourish do you add to the bleeding doctor?
I think I'm going to, after watching Bach take like just stapling things to him, I'm like, stop doing that, and then I'm going to take his broken off pull cue and pass it over to him and be like, here, now just use this, all right? Yeah. You don't have to staple things to him. You can just give him a weapon and make him look cool. It's fine.
So Grimclaw accessorizes.
Yes.
Okay. And Twofer, how do you
I'm more in the like rough up the coat, like make it look like it's been like pick up, like smear my hand in something that's rusty and like rub it on him, like get some tears in it, make it look a little ratty, like it's been through the works.
You're doing the weathering pass.
Yes.
I get
very
some loose grease and gear from around like the knee joint and get that and like rub it on my head.
Here.
Oh, and do you
Like
wanna-
trying to buff out the shiny polish on my head, make it look a little darker.
Hey, bald
Twofer.
head is badass, man.
It would look a lot more realistic if you put the coat on him and then beat him up. Then it would look.
As you're finishing, Proctor looking a little bit like, oh God, me going back to Elysium. I was going to say middle-aged dude gothing it up to go back to a nightclub. Shit, Snicker, it's me again. There's no escape.
Can we get him to like Judas Priest? That's the closest thing we need. It's just Judas Priest.
Someone recently.
I think I'm
on
gonna
the
look
TV
more like
guide
Ozzy
said-
Osbourne now.
Okay, Cupid say, dude, you look like Rob Halford as a wizard.
Yes.
Which I hadn't realized with the nose, like, oh fuck, I'm Rob Halford as a wizard. Okay, so I was actually gonna even make a joke about the guy liner, realizing I've started wearing it. So I owe
It's
you
hot.
like a really friendly punch in your arm. As you finish turning Proctor into a parody of the Game Master, a suit of armor with a goblet in it comes around the corner. It is functioning in if Ed 209 was drunk off his ass while also on Molly. So it's real like position uncertainty, staggery, like you have to shoot out a leg to like, but it goes roughly forward when you want it to. And you have protection. I mean, you've got I'm actually going to say we've taken Twofer's shield and soldered that on the front, even with the little prickles in it, just to give you a little bit of that, like, go bring it around.
Yeah, I'm okay.
So the plan is Proctor is going to go in with the biggest balls he can muster and just start laying on handfuls of crap. And then while they're distracted, and hopefully the distraction will lead to a bunch of forces leaving, the rest of you will all be going around the other side, going kind of slowly so you can get tricks in slowly undercover.
Mhm.
And then when you see people moving out, you'll attack, right?
Yeah.
That's the plan. Any other flourishes I need to know about? A lot's on you. Cyberpunk me. All right. So, Professor Proctor.
Don't human this up.
You return to the settlement. And the tone is different, obviously, because the people are now, it was all before about, like, honestly, empowerment and freedom. Like, they were formed by goblin freedom, not even freedom fighters, just people that were very into supporting each other culturally. It was a very vibrant, very lively community. Because they're now working under the thumb of not just a warlord, a human warlord, who obviously doesn't have any of that respect, and their people are certainly abusive to the level of they'll be yelling things like goblin bastard back to work, right? They're not exactly going to be sensitive to racial issues, because a common theme of raider thugs is they're not. So you roll in, and let me hear the first thing out of your mouth is you see other people wearing Curse's livery and who are lording over. What do you say?
I need to speak to Victor immediately.
Give me, you can choose persuade, deceive,
I will be persuading, no doubts.
or intimidate.
There's no doubt about this. This is a persuade.
Okay, so change your tone to be less intimidating and more persuasive.
It is very important that I speak to Victor immediately. I have important news from the front.
Okay, give me the persuasion, down and die, for reasons I'm not sharing with you yet.
Okay, no success.
Okay, make a notice test.
And notice is, where is my notice? There is my notice. My notice I have good scores in also. So it never fails. It's I'm the worst roller when it really matters. I definitely notice things. 3 successes.
Okay, you notice that the emblem that they're wearing is different than the one you're wearing. So meta commentary from the GM. The reason is I've changed the logo for Curse 3 times because I keep accidentally changing it to something problematic. So I fucking change it. So in this particular case, because it makes sense and it's kind of funny for the story given the roles, you weren't updated that they've, even though their thugs are like, the first version was like a black fist with the barbed wire. That was somebody's symbol. It wasn't like, not cool, man. Like, and so you didn't get the memo. So the shit you're wearing is like yesterday's logo. So what do you do when you realize that? Because they are heading towards you, but it's like hand on weapon kind of posture.
I have important letter. Must go directly to leader.
Where you been, friend?
I have been dragged through so much muck you would not believe. I got sat on by giant dog. I got dragged through Terradome. I have not been anywhere that I could do anything until I ran across an outpost where there was a rebellion, and they said, we are holding this place. You go get some help. So I'm here getting help.
So he looks down. You clearly see his eyeline go down to your wrong emblem. Make a deceive. because that was a pretty good handful of bullshit you just threw. Let's see if it lands properly with game mechanics and stuff. He comes up to you. He looks very sympathetic. He puts his long coat around you and leans in. That fist, there were these humans before the fall. That was their emblem, man. It is not cool to wear that emblem.
Oh, I've been underneath a dog's backside for 2.5 months. I didn't know.
Yeah, I'll get you a new T-shirt, man. It's fine. So
Thank you. But we've got to get this to Victor immediately. Important orders. They're losing an entire village.
All right, come with me. Meanwhile, the other group, unaware of the mislabeling, has come around, and you see a bunch of goblins hard at work. There's a small garden farm kind of thing at this side of the complex, and they're working away. You actually don't have a direct line of sight on any of the enemies. It's just other goblins. Do you still keep hidden and remote until the signal, or does anyone make contact with the goblins?
I think we should still try our best to stay down, because if these people had weapons taken from them already, they're not going to be useful in the next fight. We're the ones that are going to be the useful.
So I think you're going to have to decide how close you want the power armor to get.
Right.
Because for it to be no danger at all, it's got to be like far from the, which means it'll be longer until he can actually get close enough to be involved. Like the closer he is when the bell is rang, the sooner he can fight with you.
Right.
But there's going to be a stealth roll required if he's too close.
A stealth roll required what?
If you're close, right? So you just need to decide how close you want to be.
I'm stealthy.
Are you?
Yeah.
Way in the back, and then
In that?
you came in that
Yeah.
thing. Braver than I thought.
This is Power Armor version 1.02S, stealth suit version.
No.
I mean, I don't have a battery that's as big as me that I'm lugging around.
All right, that's true.
So I'm going to have you make a stealth roll down a die.
Okay.
And assuming you're moving slowly, this would obviously be very different if you're not like step, pause, step.
We also have a group of centaurs, don't we?
They tell you we can wait farther back because we move very quickly.
Fast.
And the dogs.
So let me get the result. What did you get?
6 and a 4.
Okay. I'm assuming, and I should have outlined this, but let me share this. Let me share your role playing with you. So I was assuming that you were going to be the closest and that the gladiators would be a little bit further back and you would call them in when the fight starts. The Arbus, because they can run like horses, they're farther back because they can close very quickly. And that would avoid you being 19 people like right there.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Sorry, I gloss over some things for speed because the setup can take a lot of time. But if there's anything that's important, please make sure to. I'm also willing to override if I'm ever wrong about any of these assumptions. They are your characters after all. Okay, so that has all happened. Trix has also not. He's been surprisingly quiet. In fact, at this point, Tooper, you may be kind of wondering why his power armor doesn't whine and whiz as much as your cybernetics do.
Oh.
Like, I think at this point, Tooper is noisier than the fucking power armor.
Great. And I'm like, because anticipation means that I'm like jittery. So it's like, and then I'm like, oh, I'm making noise, which is making me more anxious. That's a feedback loop.
All right, so Proctor, they've taken over what used to be like the town hall. It's just one building that everybody would come into for group meetings. It's become his place. And they've graffitied it up to be Curse's place. And there is a dude who's the kid in high school with the long hair that listens to black metal. And then eventually he gets to be a lot older and he doesn't change anything about himself. So that same dude, but like maybe he should like progress that to the next Pokemon evolution but he never did. So he's become a raider. Just this dude with this long, greasy hair. He's clearly really enjoying the power and authority they've given him. So you immediately get like high on being the boss. Hey, who's this dude? Oh, this is what's your name, bro?
Me?
Yeah.
They call me Pops.
But this is Pops, Victor. That's 2 Ks. Say it like it's got 2 Ks.
Victor, got it.
Oh,
Yes.
Pops got it. Hey, come
Yeah.
over here, Pops. Hey, whoa, dude, this shirt.
I know. I'm sorry. There was this giant dog. There were buttocks. I was lost in butt fur it was terrible.
Oh, that giant one?
You've seen it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see it, but we had some scouts. Yeah, that sounds terrible. So you were stuck like in the dog?
In the fur. Those dogs do not lick their butts as often as you would think.
That's gross.
Even grosser for not getting licked. But as soon as I got out, I headed for the nearest group. They're getting rebelled against. Who would do this against Curse? Who is so stupid?
I mean, there's a group from the Shire, but I think that's been dealt with.
All I know is I've got orders here. They need at least half of your men. You've got to get over to the next village to help them.
Fine. Just let me see the orders.
Hand over the paper we've codged up.
He looks at the paper. Yeah. Shoot this dude. So he looks it over and immediately orders for you to be shot. What do you do?
What are you doing? This didn't come directly from Curse. It came from the guy who's running the village over there.
They are going to open fire. Do you want to evade?
Well, yes.
Okay. So give me an evade test.
Nobody told me this guy was smart. 2
Didn't
successes.
know.
Okay. So
I mean, he's a human. How smart can he be?
you evade the SMG fire from the first guy. If you succeed, you're allowed to try it against another attack. So now you can go again against the other guy, but you're down to die.
Okie dokie. And we go again. Does my dodge help in it?
Dodge lets you evade in a round as a reaction,
All right.
and it doesn't take your action, but that's not what's happening here,
Right. I got 1 success.
which is good enough. Victor pulls his vibro sword. Do you want to stay in the room or leave the room?
You know what? I'm now officially pissed off. I
Okay.
have information. I'm going to jump at Victor, grabbing for his vibro sword, and try the cinematic thing, vibro sword to the neck, nobody move, or the big guy gets it.
Ooh.
Okay, brawl melee. You got to get 2 6s.
Did we hear the gunshots?
I'll get back to you in just a heartbeat. Yes, you for sure would have.
Just look at that.
It's too small for me. Did you get 2 6s?
I got 2 6s, sir.
Jeez.
Look at that.
It's too small. All right. Meanwhile, the other party hears. "Brr, brr."
Oh God.
What do you do?
He humaned it up.
Ah,
I guess yeah, we should start running, and whatever my signal is to the others.
It'll probably be
thumbs
visual.
up. Let's do this.
Like,
Since you're trying to
Bob
try to
Jenkins.
imagine, yeah. So you
I had a
run.
whole speech prepared and everything, and nope, it's not happening.
So you're going to head around. The goblins that were working see you. One of them says, "What's happening?"
This is a raid. Run away.
Fuck that. He picks up his rake.
All right.
Come on.
Let's do this.
Humans are back on the menu. Dude, we're not Kemp. Shut up. And they run after you.
We're not gonna,
Um,
I was like, I'm not going to talk about how that's not culturally appropriate about the cannibalism anymore, but that's all right. We're just going to keep running.
So it sounds like Bach and Tufa are in the lead. Trix, you're a little bit behind only because you're not. The cyber legs actually make Tufa faster running. Ironically, the power armor makes you a little slower. So it's
Makes
very
sense.
strong, but it's not for jump, right? Exactly. So Bach and Tufa, you don't immediately run into because there's not a lot of these guys, right? So are you like literally looking for opponents at this point, or are you making noise, or?
Oh, I'm yelling freedom, of course. Freedom! Even though that was a ridiculous movie, but freedom nonetheless. And I just, what if there's a flag of those guys, I'm gonna rip it down. If there's
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
rip them
no
down.
if. That's gotta happen, right?
Right.
Like, so you go into the middle of the town square, going freedom, and the flag that's normally your flag, they've put his ridiculous emblem up there. So you rip that down, and you Judd Nelson the flag, and you hear like a cheer from the goblins inside. Victor says, shoot him. And he doesn't seem to be bothered by the sword in his throat.
Oh.
What do you do?
Well,
Well, that's very interesting. At this point, I'm outnumbered. I've got a sword to his throat. I don't think there's any possible way that he could avoid not having his head removed.
Okay.
Robot.
So I'm going to shoot you twice, and you can't evade because you're busy cutting the head off the leader. That's a hit. And the way that does it, we combine with groups. I combine actions, just sharing mechanics with you.
Got it.
SMG. What's your defense against firearms?
Light armor, so 2.
Okay, 4, 6, 8, 14. Oh, I rolled the 2 6s again. 18, and then another 6. That's 20 points, and it's finally over. So 2 machine guns, submachine guns, rip through you and into Victor because they don't seem to care. So they kind of do this with their firing arc, and they just kind of tear through everything. You take
Including
20
each other at that point.
Take 20 hits. What's that take you to?
-2.
Okay, so a couple very important things happen here. And this is the first time this has happened in a while. So let me go through this with you. The first thing is that's going to be 3 injuries. So one at a time, assign them. So roll a d6, assign the first injury, then roll it again, assign the second, then roll it again, assign the third.
Okay. So rolling 1d6 at a time?
Yep.
Yeah.
You've got a little track in the lower left there.
Okay. The number 6.
Okay, so that goes into spot 6 then. And then just do it 2 more times.
Don't roll another 6.
Yes.
I rolled another 6.
Oh,
Okay,
right.
so that one becomes a wound. So you mark that one you don't roll for. You mark the first box, which is the 0.
Okay.
Okay, and then the third injury, roll again.
Number 2.
Okay, so that one didn't become a wound, so that's fine. So you have, however, been wounded. So at this point, you're going to have to make a toughness check.
Because of course, I am a very, very tough human. I am tough like peanut butter.
It gets stuck to the roof of your mouth, man. It's not easy to get through.
All right.
Yeah,
2
he's
successes.
very hard to get rid of.
Okay.
Some people are afraid of peanut butter.
So you don't lose
Yes, I-
consciousness. You're actually okay. If you failed that roll, you would have lost consciousness, and you would, because you're wounded, you would have been dying. So you're not unconscious. So what you do here, before we go back to the other party, is you hear the head yelling, "Someone pick me up!" Meanwhile, outside,
Do it.
Meanwhile,
Bach and Tufer and Marianne and all the rest, The goblins are gathering around you. At this point, they're going to gather around Bach just because it's hard to argue with the freedom and the
Well,
red flag.
and he's taller.
He's big.
Yes, so,
Good target.
I mean, I'm right next to him.
I need a notice check from Grimclaw.
Right. I'm usually pretty good at that. Where is that? 5. A 6. 1 success.
You see 3 thugs leaving. They've seen the gladiators and the adventurers come in, and the trolls yelling freedom, and there's power armor, and there's a cyborg, and they have apparently swapped left on that shit. And they're trying to be quiet, but you see them like sneaking away.
Uh-oh.
Wait, there are guys?
No,
No.
Oh,
Bad guys.
The bad guys are like, fuck this.
you
I'm
see
out.
3 of them over there. They're like they're clearly doing the calculus on attacking you, and it's not great calculus.
They can math.
I would try to draw attention to the centaur people because they're much faster than me.
Yeah.
To get them to like, hey, over there.
So
Go
this
get
is
them
something-
sexy snotbot or whatever their names are.
Sexy Slotbot and Power Bar. Yeah, and so in the back there, you'll see back of the shot the centaur folk, the Argus coming around.
That's how you use cavalry.
Right.
So they're literally
So-
horses.
Back over to Proctor. You are engaged in a firefight with 2 guys with submachine guns and a pissed off head. What do you do?
Well, I have a vibro sword in my hand.
Yep.
I think I'm going to try and put myself on the other side of one of the gunfighters, so that the second submachine gun's going to have to shoot through his buddy again, which apparently doesn't seem to bother them. And I am going to play zombie rules baseball.
Okay. So you want to attack with the head. So that's going to give me do a hurl.
Hurl. Okay.
Trooper's a real pro at this one.
Yeah, I am not, but we'll see what happens.
No, but you've observed her often
I
enough.
have,
do it.
and I got a success.
Yeah.
So
What
you
would Trooper
see
do?
the head spinning through the air, and you see that the bottom where you caught is kind of like sliced spam. So there isn't really like proper internals. He appears to be meat all the way through, and is somehow, it's got to be a mutant power, but beheading him doesn't seem to be all that dangerous for him. So you see that flip, and hits one of the guys. Here's what I'm going to need. I don't see this as going well for the Raiders. So, Bach, what does your showdown with one of the Raiders, how does that go down? If you have descriptive narrative control over it.
I'm gonna basically, like, the goblins that have rallied around me, I'm gonna be like, which one do you want me to crush most? And
Handsy Pete, get Handsy Pete.
basically, yeah, we're just gonna swarm them and just.
So we would just like hear like no, and just, and then he
I
just
think
stop
Tuver
hearing.
just like lets out this like barbaric, gleeful scream and just launches herself. Is like pummel.
And just with that excitement of the crowd that just
Yeah.
like, and then we just like a wave move on to the next one. And
Grimclaw, what does your showdown with one of these? How does that play out?
All right. Well, I'm going to have my spear, and I'm going to single one out, kind of like Hook in Rufio, where he just starts going Rufio. It starts like points one out, and then I'm fiddling around with my spear. And while I'm fighting him, I am saying the following. We can't afford to be innocent. Stand up and face the enemy. It's a do or die situation. Invincible.
Write a speech.
I had to quote Pat Benatar in the middle of this. If it's an 80s thing, it's got to be, I got to stab him in the face. We will be
We are
invincible.
green. We are all goblins.
So Trix, give me a couple of demises featuring your brand new upgraded power armor.
So, like, one of them runs up with his sword, and I stick the hand out and like grab him by the face, and like as I'm crushing his face, one of his friends like shoots, and the bullets like ricochet off of the shield that I added on the front. And I look over and I lightning gun him, and then crush this one's head.
Proctor, you wake up. Your vision clears a little bit. You cough up something warm and wet. Your fingers come to your face, and it's definitely blood. There is a big, concerned doggy man face looking down at you.
Meant licking down at him.
I was
right?
going to say, like,
Yeah, no, yeah, totally. I think he licks your face.
Yep.
You alive?
Unless heaven is made of dog people, yes.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Apparently, I'm not dead yet.
Don't
What
try to
happened?
get up. You've got I think the medical term is holes. You have a lot of holes in you. You're leaking.
Bleeding. Lots.
And you
Yes.
hear gunfire and screaming, and you hear Bach yell, and you hear Twofer.
like Twofer's like,
yelling. Now there's your friends are yeah, those cursed people, they're not leaving.
Yes, I'm guessing. They are not what we thought they were.
Well, you took 2 of them. You seem to do pretty good, except for all the holes.
Yeah,
There's a
it took a lot
third.
of holes to take them.
I
Is-
took
is-
out
is-
that third one though.
Is the Victor head still there?
Yeah, you son of a bitch, I'm right here. Yeah, he won't
That.
shut up. And he's corrected me on my spelling twice.
Okay.
What's the deal? Like, normally when you cut a human's head off, that's like dunzo, right?
He's not human.
I'm
He is
more than
very-
human.
He is very, very
I'm
not.
he's the Nexus One.
Homo superior mutatus.
More
You're
human than
homo
human.
headless right now.
Hey, now. That was my sword. That was just rude.
Well, it was effective.
Well, you didn't put the seal on that message, dumbass.
Well, now I know better for next time when we go after Curse. Coughing up a little blood for emphasis.
Yeah, you're making a big assumption there that you're going to make it through the day.
Oh,
Do you want me to?
I know something you don't know.
You want me to kick the head around the room a little bit for you?
Please, please.
Okay.
Yes.
So head, let me introduce you to something that my pups call hacky sack. So the party finishes up. There's a lot of gore. The goblins begin cleaning up their community. They're pleased to be free, but they're not wanting this in their town. So they immediately start organizing to, like, let's dig a pit, make sure it's outside town. Thanks, Bach. That was great. That battle crime. I didn't think you had it in you.
Sometimes it just
Yeah.
depends on how many heads I need to bash. I just haven't got a good.
Turned out it was about 7. You got that power armor working, huh, Trix? I gotta admit, if I was betting, I was not betting that it was gonna work right.
Funny story. That's how I got it working, was betting on Twofer.
All right,
Irony.
so you're all back together. Professor
For
is
varying
wounded.
values of together.
Yeah, they're going to have him in like literally a wheelchair that they have. There was one in the community, and he's in it, and he's bandaged up and has a lot of bleeding bandages. He has multiple wounds. He's alive.
I think
But-
you need an operation, doctor.
Toover kind of leans over and is like, "That's pretty goblin, Professor. Have you thought about metal?"
I have just the thing to fix these holes in my lab. I'll be right back.
Oh, Professor,
First, before you go anywhere, may I introduce you to the head of this party, Victor.
So turns out
I see
Victor,
what you did there.
Victor has a mutation where basically he's I forget there's a scientific name for it in reality, where he's got like redundant organs. So he is very hard to kill because he's like a spam dude, and his whole body can act as lungs, can act as a heart. So beheading him doesn't really hurt him very much.
So what happens if we say set the head on fire?
Oh, clearly, narratively, between you figure out very quickly, it doesn't make him, an oven would take care of him right quick. Hell, the lightning gun. The frogs were popping. Like, you turn the lightning gun at that head. If you want to end him, you can end him.
No, we need the information inside his skull.
So the head
Well-
becomes a captive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
He
find
gives
like
us information, or I put him in the oven.
so you find like a dog carrier,
Oh, or underwater.
like stick the head in it.
Waterboard.
Yeah, we
I
give
can
him a brief
He's like-
montage of head
He's like
torture.
He's like Nathan Fillion in Santa Clarita Diet. He's just a head on a
You
face.
can do the Vice one from Evil Dead.
Oh,
You can do dunk in water. You can do any
Yeah.
number of you can find a toilet. It turns out to be very handy to be able to torture. You could do the metal band around the head and tighten it.
Whole new chapter in book, Goblin Torture Technique.
Just in the North Star style.
On
I have a
disattached
certain
head.
set of skills.
So you have regained the goblin community, but you have learned that Curse is now effectively on the rampage, is trying to take the entire area. It looks like he's trying to take at least Central Texan, if not all of Texan, which no idea how he's pulling it off without attracting the wrath of other players in the area, not just the Angels. Like, there are other people that have concerns in the state. And so far, he's not had a lot of pushback. So you've freed that, and obviously there's more for these particular goblins to do, and they have now concerns beyond just freeing the community. The concerns are basically local politics. To keep the community free, you have to make sure that the curse is ended. The curse is ended. All right, so we're going to end this here because it's 9:43. Let me thank you, wonderful people. I know some of you better than others. I've gamed only with a couple of you. The people that I have not gamed with, who are utterly delightful, make super great greenskins. I'm absolutely chuffed that I was able to play with you folks. So thank you very much. Let's quickly go around. Shout outs if you got anything going on. Snicker.
Hi, everybody. It's your favorite neighborhood halfling / sheriff from Sherwood. And hey, it's been an absolute pleasure being a part of Nuked. I've watched pieces of this game evolve through Mike creating this incredible world. And if you're out there watching and you want to know something fun to do, pick up a copy of the game. If you're on Twitch stream right now, there's a link that keeps popping up. So get yourself some of that. My own personal shout out, the one and only charity that I support is Rescue Foundation. You can find that at rescuefoundation.org. And it is a charitable organization that helps people who work in the Renaissance Fair community with medical bills and medical liaisons to help them out. So give us a look at rescuefoundation.org if you can, RESCU, and we appreciate you. Thank you much for this opportunity, Mike.
You are officially almost forgiven for your insightful mockery of everything I am. Uriel, you got anything going on? I'd be shocked if you did not.
Got grown up summer camp at Sherwood Forest coming if you're in the Texas area. There's still a little bit of space left, and that is going to be next weekend, the 18th, 19th, and 20th. I personally will be teaching courtly dancing and mead making and medieval games and adventuring 101. That is something that Mike apparently wants to off me over. And then in July, we have the kids camp for Sherwood Forest. It's a overnight camp. They get dropped off on Sunday, picked up on Saturday. A lot of the same classes, not the mead making, but we still have archery and blacksmithing and leatherworking and horseback riding and all kinds of stuff for the kids to learn, pottery, fun stuff like that. And then on my Patreon, I'm launching a thing where I'm going to be doing virtual classes, teaching things varying from magic to strategy and gaming to improv to help introverts be able to adjust a little better when they're out in society and trying to be social. Using skills you get from improv really helps with that. My Patreon is Patreon/Urial. You can find it there. Thanks again, Mike. It's always fun playing with you. Love, love, love the worlds that you create and your style of game mastering.
Thank you, my friend. And Tanya, I know for absolutely sure that you've got something going on because you have something going on with a very good friend of mine.
It's true. So hi. For those who don't know, I run a tea shop. It's called Tabletop Teas. It's online at tabletopteas.com. And very recently I started a collab with Dave, called Corpse Coffee, which can be found at corpsecoffee.com. Ta-da! There's coffee and tea and a webcomic. So find out what happens, our version of what happens to you in the afterlife and why caffeine is important.
So every report I've heard is that both the tea and the coffee are amazing. I'm also working on an RPG in that world to promo that thing because that seems like a fun thing to do.
I'm excited.
That'll be up soon. And Melissa, you got something going on we can promo for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So hi, my name's Melissa L.E. Baker, and I go by a bunch of other names as well. You might know me as Lady Morgan from Chased Treasure, and we've got some tours coming up. I specifically will be at the main Renaissance Fair, so if anybody's on the East Coast and wants to come and hang out with that, there's going to be a lot of awesome people that will be doing that at the end of July. You can also find us on chasedtreasure.com, and we have a Patreon as well. It's patreon.com/chasedtreasure if you want to support us and all of the wacky stuff that we do. Also for Chase Treasure this Sunday, I'm going to be doing something called Catalina's Wine Mixer. She came up with that and it's spectacular. She's an Italian girl, and Lady Morgan does a segment called Let's Get Weird with Morgan, where I will be going over the actual history of the Jersey Devil this weekend. So I'm very excited to talk about that. I also write books, and I have a book on Amazon called Dare. If you look up Melissa Lee, Dare, that's what it is. And I have a Patreon where I write spooky stories and my husband, who is a professional narrator, reads them. So patreon.com/quillandquote. You can find a lot of this stuff either on my Facebook, or you can find it probably through Nat21, where I hang out with Paolo.
It's been great meeting you and wonderful playing with you.
So awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed the heck out of this. This whole system is great.
Oh, thanks so much. And Paolo, I know for a fact you got stuff going on.
Oh, I got tons of things going on. Well, first I want to thank Mike for having us, and it's just been a great time. It's a great game. Love the system too, by the way. So you can buy this game, and I've looked at the rules. It's fantastic. It's super fast flowing, fantastic system. I want to also thank all of our Nat21 people who were here tonight watching the show. So hey, what's up, everybody? And tomorrow night we're actually starting. I know this is hilarious that this is like a Goblin campaign. Nat21 is doing a month long. We have 4 episodes every Tuesday night, and it's the Orc campaign, where we have some orcs, and we're exploring the orc world, the orc side of the world of Urt, which is where we adventure on our Nat 21 adventures on Twitch, and that's going to be for a month, and then we're actually doing a thing with the Chase Treasures are actually having their own adventure on Nat 21 as well. So we have all sorts of adventures happening all week long on Nat 21, starting a new month-long series of orc adventures. It's going to be hilarious. Some crazy stuff going on. I tour doing shows all over the country, and I will be back in your neighborhood at TRF in October and November. So I'll be there juggling away. So
I'm not sure that everyone watching knows that you are a juggler of tremendous skill, a juggling comedian, and a hardcore nerd,
and an official court fool. He is.
I don't just hit things with sticks.
So I'm also working potentially at some point down the road on collabs with Paolo and Net 21.
Yes. Hope to have some great collaborations in the future. It's going to be great.
We'll keep you posted. So as far as the world of Nuked, in 2 weeks, so not next Monday, the Monday after, the next group of people that are coming in are from podcasts that Colt and I do called Tales Told in the Dark, which are horror stories. Every episode is a different genre of horror. So we've done horror in the Arctic. We've done horror in space. We were working on beach horror, beach high school horror. This is going to be horror in Nuked. So it will be like an episode that's meant to be actually horrific, as opposed to, there's a lot of horror in the genre, but there's a difference between genre and setting, and that's a whole TED Talk. But this is going to be horror in both the setting and the genre. And that'll be in 2 weeks. Tomorrow, and by the way, our stuff is also always visible after the fact on YouTube. It gets archived. So if you want to go watch Orcs with Paulo, go ahead. Because you don't have to watch us live. You can watch us after the fact on YouTube. But tomorrow we have Colton Dunn, who's been in Superstore, Key and Peele, The League, and my favorite, Parks and Rec, which is my maybe number 2 favorite series of all time. And he's going to be playing a super fun character with the main cast tomorrow. And then 1 week after. The guest spots are always 2 weeks. So that's happening tomorrow. And I think everyone, thanks for coming. Whoever's watching, thanks for watching. Colt, you're going to throw up some slides once we say goodbye, right? You're just going to throw up we got a few things for you to look at, then we're going to shut down the stream. So we're going to say goodbye, and thanks again, and I hope to see you soon in the Wasteland.